I heard that.
This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by, Jay McLovin, I guess.
Tony is.
I guess their guy decided to disappear on us. Oh, there he is.
No, my dog had to go outside.
That's what they all say. I personally think he's getting ready for his trip to Chicago, as we previously talked about.
How's it going, guys? I'm doing good. IU locked their coach in, which I'm glad they went ahead and got that done. I saw some people saying that it was a bad decision today, which I think that guy just hates IU because that dude wouldn't give IU no respect after we beat Oregon. So.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the guy. He also hates the Colts too.
Yeah.
Who? Feinbaum?
No, was Feinbaum said it? Oh no, that was a different guy.
Yeah, Feinbaum said IU made a mistake giving Cignetti an extension.
Now, if that would have been Georgia doing that, giving their coach an extension, would have been the greatest thing ever.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or Alabama. He's a big Alabama guy.
Yeah.
My weekend was pretty good. She's here, she's there, but she's definitely not living in the house. So I could be grandpa. I just visit and I leave. It's great. It is absolutely great. I did see something. I don't know all the particulars about it, but it kind of goes what I was talking about earlier in college sports, where now there's some sort of a gambling syndicate that is targeting NCAA basketball and point shaving and other things. And I'm wondering, again, I worry about this. If people are out there betting honest money on these games, college, pro, whatever. Like if it's in college, I gotta imagine it's in pro and everywhere else. It just hasn't come to light. I always say for every cockroach they find, there's about 10 of the cockroaches that we don't know about. But I'm wondering, Gonzo, I know you've done sports gambling shows. When you're doing your sports prediction and you're giving out your predictions, on your podcast and stuff, does that cross your mind? Like, these syndicates are out there point shaving, and how's that going to affect?
I don't think about it because there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, in the way I look at it, it's always been happening. Like gambling just became legal. That's why it's talked about now. This was happening with gambling. With look at the NBA referee that was shaving points for NBA games, and that came out. What was it? Donahue, I think his name was. That was before gambling was even legal. Now it's just legal. So now these come out. I think it's actually good that they come out now because with the gambling being legal, there's so many laws and restrictions and stuff. And these sports books like FanDuel, DraftKings, and stuff, they're doing research and they're keeping an eye, investigating stuff because they know their whole business relies on people thinking that it's fair. So this stuff has to get reported. Where in the past, this stuff would just keep going on and going on and going on. So at least now you're going to find this stuff's going to come to light because all these apps, like these apps, know like where you're at when you gamble. So like if I leave the state of Indiana and I'm in a different state that sports gambling is not legal, it won't let me place a bet on my app on my phone.
Really?
Yeah, it goes by your location. It don't go by where you're from. So like, and like, for example, I don't know, about a month ago, whenever it was, last time I went to Michigan. I got on my FanDuel, went to go get on my FanDuel account because it was on a Sunday. I was going to put a couple bets in before football started. Their rules are different than here, so I had to do a whole different verification thing because I was in Michigan, and then when I got back to Indiana, I went to check my bets, and my bets didn't come up because I was in Indiana. It had a little tab. I had to click on Michigan because I'd placed them bets in Michigan for them to come up on my thing. I mean, it's weird how things are different from state to state, but you're going to see more of it come out than what we used to, just because now all these sports books they dedicate a lot of money to investigating and trying to make sure that there isn't cheating and things going on, because if everybody thinks that it's all rigged and they don't have a chance, and they lose all their business.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder how many of these umpires are rigged. How many of these umpires, no matter what sport it be, football, baseball, basketball, pro, college, whatever the case is, because I figure it's in everything, right? I don't think there's any distinction. I think it's in both pro and college and all levels. I just wonder, how much of these guys are affecting the outcomes of these games, or how many of these games have been. Actually, I said that wrong. I wonder how many of these games have been affected by suspect officiating crews or points given by the players themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, I think it's. I like to think it's not happening as much as you think, but
yeah,
definitely happening.
Well, it definitely happened because you got a human element involved.
Right.
So it can happen. I mean, perfect example. I love horse racing. You can't tell me that a jockey can't have some control. If he don't want that horse to win, he can make sure that horse don't win. His horse. If he's on this horse, he can do things to make sure that horse don't win. So I mean, there's things they can affect things in so many different ways. And they could do it for different reasons. Maybe this football player is not betting on football, but he's an avid bets on golf, and he's $500,000 in debt. So he's going to save some points. To help pay his debt. You just don't know. But anytime you got the human element involved, because humans suck for the most part, that it can, it can happen. And
but it makes me think, and that's what I'm saying. It makes me really think when I see some of these balls that are clearly strikes that are way outside the line, and damn good well that they're balls. It just reinforms my mind. In my mind, I'm always asking myself, is it human error or is he doing it on purpose? I'm just saying it puts that level of doubt in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I think most time it's just human error, because Chris umpired many times. I've umpired a little bit, not even close to Chris, and I hated it. I liked umpiring, but what you see behind the plate is completely different from what people are seeing on the TV screen and all these slow motion angles and everything. Being an umpire, especially behind the plate, is very difficult. Chris, wouldn't you think so?
Oh yeah, especially the way as hard as these guys are throwing now. I mean, you got pitches coming 102, 103 miles an hour up there, and the strike zone is the only thing you got to worry about. Like you're the home plate umpire. You run the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in charge. You're in charge of that game. So you got to worry about your other umpires. You got to worry about fair and foul. You got to worry about keeping control of dugouts, not letting things. I mean, you got a lot of things going on. And what people don't understand, like when you're an umpire and you're viewing it in live time, most umpires are going to set up over the inside shoulder of the catcher. So if you got a right-handed batter, my head's going to be right over the catcher's left shoulder. So a pitch that's on the outside corner, I'm not getting a clear straight on view of that pitch.
Right. No,
So
I
if-
get that. I get
So
that.
if it's just that much off the corner from where I'm at, from where your umpire is at, it's going to look like it's on the corner because you're just behind the catcher on this side. Because if you watch umpires, they set up over the catcher's shoulder wherever the batter's at.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Sure.
that way, if you do have a little bit, because you can't set up right in the middle, because then the catcher's head's in your way, or you're up above the catcher and then you're kind of looking down. So
and so much movement on the ball.
there's so many variables, movement on the ball.
People
And-
moving on the ball.
And here's the other thing: fans and us watching on TV, but people at the ballpark, you know what they go by? They go by where the catcher's glove is when after that ball is caught.
Oh yeah, they don't realize it's being framed.
Yes, like there's pitches that a catcher will make look like a strike that are a ball, and
Oh yeah.
a lot of fans don't get that.
Well,
Chris,
I wonder if where the ABS comes into play. I would imagine it's probably going to be in the league next year. If that ABS comes into play, that should quell a lot of speculation on that. I would
Yeah.
think anyway.
I don't
Yeah,
know, Chris,
that is going to be effective next year, where pitchers, catchers, and batters can challenge calls on
Yeah, you can-
striking balls.
You can challenge a striker or a ball.
how many times a game can they do that? Do you know?
I don't think there's a limit.
Really?
I'd have to look at. I'm not sure.
I thought it was 2 times per
I think it's
at-bat.
maybe like-
That's-
I think
I know,
it's-
but that might be too many.
Yeah, I think it's like 1 or 2. I don't know. I think you can challenge each batter. So like, say for instance, Chris is a pitcher and Jay's batting, and like Tony's the umpire and he's calling a ball on a strike 2 times in a row. I think Chris as a pitcher could be able to challenge it, or maybe Chris can challenge one and Jay can challenge one, you know, as a pitcher and batter, or even if the pitcher challenged one and they get it, and then the next one is like the same thing, maybe the catcher is able to challenge it.
Teams will start the game with teams start with 2 challenges per game, which are retained if successful. So you get 2, but if you challenge and you're right, you get to keep your challenge and you can use it
Okay.
again. So you start with 2, and if you use both of them and you don't win them, then you don't have any for the rest of the game.
But if you're right, you could do it 5-6 times.
Yeah, because if you're right, you keep it and you can keep. And you
Well,
can use
by that logic, which I believe you because I just saw it too. I guess by that logic, as long as you're right, you can challenge as many times as you want. You just got to be right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm good with that. I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing. Yeah.
Okay.
That actually
guys?
starts next year or next season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine it'd probably start up in spring, wouldn't it? To get them ready, start up in spring
That's what
training.
I would think. Spring training.
They were doing
Yeah.
it last spring training.
Yeah, they
Only,
did.
only a pitcher, catcher, or batter can request a challenge. A manager can't request a challenge.
And it should be the pitcher, catcher, or whatever, because they're the ones right there in the know.
And they must do so immediately after the call is made without any help from the dugout or other players.
So you see that way, you don't have the help of video. The umpire can't say, "Well, that's definitely what we're gonna. This is this pitcher." and the thing with pitchers, batters, and catchers, everybody, because that human element, they could be way off. I mean, there's no way that was a strike, and that's because that's what they're thinking in their head, and it may have been a strike. So that makes it a lot more interesting that they can't, review it. The coaches can't review it.
Yeah, they can't look at video. And then if it goes to extra innings, if a game goes to extra innings and the team don't have any challenges, they'll be awarded one challenge for extra innings.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Yeah.
So if you use both your challenges in the game and then the game goes in extra innings, they'll give you get another one for the extra inning.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
The review process will take 15 seconds.
Yeah, Joe. When we get to the football segment of the show, we'll definitely be talking about how you get concussions at home.
But just to wrap that up real quick, Jay, to answer your question, I think like 98 to 99% of most of your officials, umpires, referees in all the sports are doing the best they can, and it don't have nothing to do with cheating or shaving. I think it's just that 1%, like you do have in any profession, that are the bad people and give things a bad name.
Yeah, yeah. And I can see where maybe the umpires are running into financial issues that maybe they would be tempted to, shave a couple here and there to make some money. I mean, and you got to think Major League Baseball. I mean, they've got to vet the hell out of these umpires to make sure that they're, straight and narrow and not just whatever, right? I mean, it's going to be a hell of a vetting process.
I
Well,
don't think so.
it ain't even that, Jay. Plus, they get graded. You get graded after every game, and if you're not keeping a certain level, you're gone. Like I mean, their system put in place, and that grading scale can make it harder to be trying to shave point, do stuff like that, because
Right.
if each ball that you're calling, say you call a ball that's or you call a pitch that's a ball, a strike, every time you do that, you're getting dinged. You know what I mean? So they have that data. And like I said, you can lose your job, get moved down to the minors, be done completely. Like so, they have started holding these umpires accountable that way, which I think will help with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, let's jump into some baseball. Let's jump into the National League Championship Series first. We'll talk about the game last night and the game today, and then we'll go over to the American League. Guys, the Dodgers look like they got a stranglehold now, 3-0 over Miami, over Milwaukee. The Dodgers won last night 3-1. Man, I just
Tony,
don't know.
is it really a difference to call Milwaukee Miami, because that's what they're playing like in this playoff series?
That's kind of true. I don't know right now the way the Dodgers are pitching that if anybody's going to beat the Dodgers, guys. I don't know. They're really pitching well, really playing well, and Milwaukee, yeah, they can't. I think in the first 3 games they only have 8 or 9 hits total.
Well, they got 9 hits out of 3 games. They got 9 hits.
Yes.
9.
Yeah. So yeah. But you got to say the Dodgers pitching is doing the job for sure. Chris, your thoughts on the game last night, Dodgers and Milwaukee?
I mean, it came down to what me and you were talking about yesterday on the show, was if Milwaukee wants to get back in the series, they have to be able to get to that Dodgers bullpen by the 6th inning. If you're going to let these Dodgers starters go 8, 9 innings, or 7, 8 innings, you're not going to win many games against the Dodgers, especially the way they're starting pitching right now, since they're fully healthy. I mean, Glasnow had another great start. We saw what Yamamoto and Snell done. So I mean, yeah, what they're and now who they gonna bring pitch in the next game? We got Ohtani on the mound for game 4, right? I mean,
Yep.
They're just so deep in their starting pitching staff, and Ohtani wasn't pitching great earlier in the year, but if you look at his last few starts, he's been going close to 8 innings. He's been pitching a lot better. So yeah, the way the Dodgers starting pitching is right now, I don't know if anybody's going to beat him. And the only way Brewers are going to get a win tonight, in my opinion, you got to get to that bullpen in the 5th or 6th inning, and put pressure on that Dodgers bullpen. And you got to put the ball in play. You got to make the Dodgers make some plays. Like if you don't put the ball in play, you're not even giving them a chance to make any mistakes and build momentum for yourself. If you're just going up there and hitting a ground ball and getting out or a strikeout, like you got to get some hits and put pressure on them. They ain't been able to put no pressure on the Dodgers at all this series. I mean, I guess they did the one game. They scored early, real quick, and the Dodgers came back and boom, boom, boom. But like, yeah, they ain't been able to put no pressure on them.
Yeah, Chris, I agree with you. I think it's over tonight. I think they have to get to Ohtani even earlier than the 5th or 6th. I think they need to get on him in the first 3 innings and build some confidence, and they need to put up 3 or 4 runs. They gotta change things if they're gonna have any kind of chance. And I don't think there's much of a chance down 3-0. I think it ends tonight. I think it's over. Frankie, your thoughts on this series?
I agree with Chris. Like it's mind blowing on how the Dodgers looked in the regular season compared to how they coming in the playoffs. You know, not just taking the first two in Milwaukee, but they took the first two in Philly as well. And nobody expected that out of these Dodgers. Their starting pitching is absolutely phenomenal. Blake Snell is looking like the Blake Snell of old that we know of. And it's reminding me of when Blake Snell was with the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, he's just absolute dominant. Yamamoto pitching a complete game. It wasn't a shutout, but pitching a complete game. That was an absolute stunner for him. And then you had the other Japanese pitcher that they had brought who actually was a starter to start the season. Instead, they converted him to the bullpen, and now he's looking like an absolute dominant closer. So, I mean, it's really like, I'm going to agree with what you said, Tony, and what you said, Chris. They have to literally come out and start swinging the bats and making contacts on Ohtani tonight. And I'm not going to say within the first 3 innings because, you know, the first 2 innings is more of a let's learn what his pitches are going to be like, the mechanics and where we're going to, you know, what we want to do. But I say by the 3rd or 4th inning, you're going to have to get at least 3-4 runs, a good, comfortable lead on the Dodgers. If not, this is going to be a complete sweep. And it's going to be sad because the Dodgers are going to have a long rest now with Toronto tying their series. But we don't know how much longer, you know, that series is going to go on. But, like, the Dodgers are looking really good. And I think – and honestly, like, I know you guys are probably going to laugh at this, and I'm not trying to troll, but I think these guys are cheating, honestly. I mean, you had Blake Snell on the IL most of the goddamn year until playoff time comes around. No, we're going to put him back out there a week or two before playoffs start so we can warm his arm up because he's an old guy. They don't want to pitch him throughout the whole year. We're going to save him till October. Same thing with Ohtani. Oh, we're going to give him 30 pitches this day. We're going to throw up at the 35 the next day. You know, we're going to work him out until September. He's going to be coming back in September. We all know Ohtani was ready in freaking May and April. We know that. We're not dumb. The same thing with Glasnow, right? There was nothing wrong with Glasnow, and then they put him on the injury list with some fake injury news, and then he comes back and he's throwing a heater. The only one I'm going to nod my head to is Yamamoto because, you know, he didn't get hurt. This is his 2nd year in the league. But, like, other than that, like, how you start the season off with, like, almost 20 players, mainly pitching, on the IL, and now everybody's all healthy, and they look like a stud baseball team that no one can defeat. I don't get it. Was the injuries real, or were they fake? I think it's kind of some BS stuff to me because all of our pitchers literally had to pitch throughout the whole year, getting hurt here and there, while these guys are fake injuring themselves and having to sit out for a couple of months so that way they can rest. Kind of like LeBron James. So when they come back at the moment that when they need them, they're going to be perfect. It's mind-blowing to me. There's no way in hell you could tell me Blake Snell, if he was pitching an entire year, Blake Snell wouldn't have gotten hurt by the time playoffs started. That happens every year with Blake Snell. Instead, the Dodgers were safe and said, listen, we know, let's fake an injury for you. Say your rotator cuff is hurting. We're going to put you on a 60-day IL. And then he comes back in September looking like a gem. Coming in October looking like a gem. It makes no sense to me. I think it's cheating. That's just me. I think it's kind of cheating. I don't know. But I hope somebody could beat this Dodgers team because I don't want to see them go back to back.
Like I said, Frank, if you ain't cheating, you ain't competing.
Well, you know, and I will tell you this. One thing, the Brewers came into this already hurt, you know, in that rotation, the starting rotation, right? They got 3 healthy starters. The other dudes, one's on a 60-day, I think another one's out. They've only got 3 healthy starters. And last night, Ashby got to start as a reliever. He was on. So last night really was a bullpen game, to be honest with you, for the Brewers. Not because they wanted to do a bullpen game, but quite honestly, they don't have any healthy starters. So I kind of think last night for the Brewers, I mean, it is what it is. When you don't have anybody healthy, you know, they're just taking it up the butt, unfortunately. But and I don't know who's going to be on the mound right now because it says undecided, obviously going against Ohtani. But you're right. I think because they don't have the healthy starting rotation, because, you know, they're down 3-0. Now, typically down 3-0, you know, we've seen it before where even the Boston Red Sox, you know, have come back, and Frankie knows, man, they've come back down 3-1 or 3-0 and came back to win. So it's not that they couldn't do it, but you got to think with the momentum against them, the Dodgers being as quality of a team as they are, and I do hear what you're saying, Frankie, and the fact that your starting rotation is hurting, that it just doesn't look good for the Brewers. You got to imagine that Dodgers going to take it handily.
So here's my thoughts on the
How many,
Dodgers.
how many times has
Before I
it
go,
happened that? How many times has it happened that a team has came back from 03?
Not many.
Not many.
Not
I think the
really.
last time was
I
the
don't
last
think
time was
it
the
is.
Red Sox.
Yep.
That's happened one time.
All right, we can
Yeah.
start talking about it.
That
We
was the
know
Red
it happened.
Sox.
All right, Chris, we know it happened one time. Nobody cares about that one time.
Frankie does
Nobody
not want
cares
to
about
discuss
Terry
that.
Francona.
Yeah. So anyway, before I get my thoughts on the Dodgers, hey Tony Twins, man, I saw you with that water bottle earlier.
Yeah, okay.
Are
Which
you
one?
kidding me right now? This isn't a water bottle. Are you trying to sponsor?
Man, grab
Budweiser
the
thing right now, like.
Yeah, grab the Osaka. We're doing a water bottle challenge. I need the
Oh
Osaka.
my
Yeah.
God, here we go. With water bottle challenge. What the
Anyway.
hell's going on today?
I've seen enough of
Hey,
the Dodgers.
Frankie, I don't have a water bottle. I can't do a water bottle challenge.
I
Hey,
got
don't worry.
soda.
Frankie don't
Can
got a
we
water
do
bottle
soda
either. It looks like a
challenge?
water bottle, but that's straight vodka for Frankie.
Yeah. But anyways,
I can hold
Dodgers
something
are
else.
gonna
I
win
can
the
hold
World
something else
Series,
up.
and they're
Challenge
not
Frankie.
going
We get in trouble for that.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Dodgers are not going to lose the game the rest of this playoffs. They're going to go this rest of these playoffs undefeated.
Get him out of
Man.
here. Get him
Wow.
out of here.
Frankie does not want to hear that.
I know he doesn't, but I've seen enough.
Listen, at this very point, Glenn, Jay, Tony, Chris, listen, my team got beat by the Toronto Blue Jays, and Jay knows this more than anyone. I hate Canadians. I really do. And if you're a Canadian descent, I apologize. I'm not trying to say I hate you. It's just I can't stand Canadian. They're like Jay
As
said,
he's
New Yorkers
drinking
are
Canadian
assholes.
water. What was that? What's that Canadian? Remember that Canadian? Clearly Canadian. He's drinking clearly Canadian as he says
Hell
that.
no. Hell no. Listen, when
Well, I don't know. I don't trust
gas
his man
station,
that doesn't show his face. I think he's drinking clearly
I
Canadian.
used to work at a gas station, and every time the vendor, the Pepsi or Coke vendor comes in with the Canadian dry soda, I used to open them and pour them out in the sink so nobody could buy them, so Canadians can't get their money. I cannot stand, Canadians. And you know, and it's not. Listen, like I said, if you're a Canadian descent, I'm not saying I hate you. It's just the people in Canada are just assholes, eh? But if it comes down to Toronto versus the Dodgers, I'm gonna be riding with the AL. I'm gonna be riding with the American League. I'm gonna be riding with Toronto, and I think Toronto has a really strong chance on how well they look right now. I think Toronto has a strong chance on competing with the Dodgers for the World Series. I really do. As much as I hate Canadians, this is why I don't understand. I don't understand why these players on Toronto are celebrating. I understand everybody wants a ring and you're winning and you're being successful, but let's not forget, most of you are Americans and you're winning for a Canadian team that don't give two shits about any one of you that are playing for them. They just want their town, their city, their state to be champions. The hell with Toronto, the hell with Canadians. But I do think they can compete with
worried about the hockey team.
Let's talk about this series. Let's talk about Toronto, Seattle. Seattle jumped off to a 2-game lead. Now Toronto's come back at Seattle and it's tied it up. There's another game at Seattle tonight. Starting pitcher is going to be Gaussman for Toronto. He's 1-1 in the playoffs with a 2.38 ERA. Seattle comes back with Miller, who's 1-0 in the playoffs and 2.61 ERA. Frankie, what we think about the game yesterday, and what do you think about the rest of the series with Toronto and Seattle?
Well, first of all, let me say, Joe, about Canadian women, they are hairy like a beast, and they have waffle-sized booties.
He
But
said
other
they're
than
called
that,
wildebeests. They're Canadian wildebeests.
they're waffle beasts, Jay. They're waffle beasts. But yeah, Tony, to answer your question, get that shit off of here.
Oh, here we go.
Get that shit. I'm not even gonna pay attention to Jay trolling right now. To answer your question, Tony, I think Toronto's on fire right now. After losing a 2-0 series start, I think they finally opened their eyes. They were lucky to have Max Scherzer on the mound yesterday. Like, literally, I'm going to tip my hat off to Max Scherzer because as a 41-year-old, he pitched an absolute game yesterday. It was absolutely beautiful. The fact that a manager tried to pull him out, and he looks at that manager and said, "Get your ass back in the dugout. I'm not done. Like, I got one more in me." And he got the guy out. I believe it was Randy Arozarena. It was absolutely a stunner with Max Scherzer. But I don't know what happened with Seattle, because it's like they get a lead to start the game and then their bats disappear. When they were in Toronto, everyone was getting hits, everyone was scoring, everyone was getting on base, and then they go back home to Seattle and then everything just like changes. I don't know if it was Toronto's mindset on, you know, getting their heads out their asses. But if Toronto continue this route, they're gonna end this, like the 2 games are gonna be the only 2 games that Seattle's gonna win, and it's gonna be absolutely funny because they looked like, literally the first 2 games they looked like they could finally make the World Series. I don't think they ever made a World Series. So I mean, you could have like literally you could have ended this at home. You had 3 right now at home. You could have ended this, but you didn't. Toronto's coming back now. It looks like this series is going to go back to Toronto, which is not good favor for Seattle. I think Toronto, with the last 2 games, because they scored 13 runs 2 games ago, or 2 days ago in that game 3, and then they scored 8 runs yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't expect them to score 8 runs after scoring 13. So I mean, these guys are literally finding that ball over the plate to just get that out of the ballpark, or at least get men on bases. I don't know, man. Toronto's looking literally like, I'm not gonna say a scary team, but they're definitely looking like a dominant team to win a World Series this year.
Okay.
I just want to say one thing real quick. My thing is with Toronto, man, they're looking nice. I mean, really, Seattle's doing great as well. Don't get me wrong. But I think Seattle's kind of letting up a little bit. They looked honestly, they looked really flat. The last time out, I thought they were really flat. So they got to really waking up. And like you said, you're going back to Toronto, so it's not like you gave your home field advantage anymore. And I got to tell you, Frankie, I know you think you and Melvin over there, because you guys are Yankees guys. Y'all think I'm crazy for saying Vlad Jr. Our Judge is better than Vlad Jr., but Vlad Jr. is hitting 455 with a 500 on-base percentage and a 976 slugging. If you don't think that he's outperforming Judge right now, you're smoking crack cocaine and you're just a delusional Yankee fan.
Wait a minute. What was Judge's batting average in the playoffs this year?
Well, it was under 450. I'll tell you that.
No, it was over 500.
It was over 500.
Chris, let's not go that far.
He doesn't even know.
Yes, it was.
It was his batting average.
Are you sure?
No.
The last time I looked at Judge's, the last time I looked at his batting average, it was around 315. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying the last time I looked at it, it was around 315.
That's regular season.
Was it regular? Okay, then maybe I looked at regular season, but still.
He was doing that back in July.
But still, hold on. Still, I told you my biggest beef with Judge, and again, this postseason, I will give you, this is probably an anomaly for Judge, because he is not typically in his 10 years of Major League Baseball, he has not performed like he did this year. So this year, I'll give you, that's the outlier, right? So you can build something off of that. But Vlad, I tell you, man, number one, Yankees are at home. He's still there, and they're still playing, and he's still playing hard. So I mean, I just don't like Judge. My knock on Judge is postseason. Now, just the one off.
Okay, hey, you just said, well,
no, my knock is postseason. Absolutely.
Right, you just don't like Judge. That right there is what we need to know.
He don't.
Do I like Judge? I don't. No, that's not true. Because I just want to.
Yes,
you just said I don't like Judge. It's
you
exactly
said that last
what you
week.
just said.
You said it last week.
I don't like any Yankee.
When it was
Let's
me,
be clear. It's just Judge.
No,
like
when it was me, Jay, and Tony on this show last week, Jay straight up came out and said, "I don't like Judge," and the reason I don't like Judge is because he's a Yankee. If he wasn't,
that's one of the reasons. I have multiple reasons, but that's one of the reasons. I don't like a lot of people. I don't like James Harden. I think James Harden is the basketball equivalent of Aaron Judge. Great regular season, amazing. Postseason, can't even find the guy. Nowhere to be found. But again, I do want to clarify. This is the first year I've actually seen Judge show up in the playoffs. Now, I want to see what Judge does next year and the year after that going forward. Is this the new version of Aaron Judge? Is this the new Judge that's actually going to be a postseason monster? Because he hasn't been a postseason monster up to now.
I don't even think you've seen Judge this playoff, because you didn't even know his batting average was over 500.
No, okay, I knew he was hitting. I didn't realize his batting average at 500, because the last time I looked at it was like 315. But I might have been looking at the regular season. So I will correct myself on that. I appreciate the correction.
Okay, guys, let's get back on topic. Fuck Judge.
We're gonna get back on topic. Jay, what about the first 2 games that Vladdy didn't do shit against Seattle?
Yeah, I'll give you that. But it could have been all. But it could have been too bad. It could have been too bad because, like I said, his batting average is still at 455, and he was 2 for 5 last night with an RBI. So it's not like he didn't do good last night because last night he went 2 for 5. I don't know. That'd be what it be. Popeyes, Tony.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jay, you have any more thoughts on this series?
Yeah, fuck Fatty Vladdy.
No. In all honesty, though, it is tied up at 2 apiece. I don't know who's on the mound tonight. I didn't look at the starters. Anybody know who's on the mound?
It's Gosman against Miller.
Okay. Yeah. I think Toronto's going to get the win tonight. I think they're going to get the win tonight. I don't know if they're going to get it tomorrow. I don't think they can pull off 2 in a row. That would be really impressive if they do against this Seattle team. But again, Seattle's got to wake up a little bit because they, like I said, they went flat the last game or so. So they need to wake up a little bit.
Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to bounce back tonight and get the win. But yeah, they don't want to lose tonight and get it where they have to win both games in Toronto. So yeah, to me, it's a must win for Seattle. But they got to get their bats going, and their starting pitching has to be better. I mean, their pitching has been good most of the year, especially here lately. And the last couple of games, Toronto's been just pounding the ball, which they done that in the last series. And in the first 2 games this series, they couldn't hit the ball, and then now they're pounding the ball again. But I think Seattle gets back on track tonight.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting. I did think it was interesting that the Toronto manager, when he went out there to relieve Scherzer, he said he was scared to go and talk to Scherzer. Scherzer looked pretty mean out there on the mound, like he didn't want to come out. They thought they were going to get into a fight. I thought that was interesting.
I will say this: I think Seattle looked a lot more free and on the road. It seems like the pressure's gotten to them at home a little bit. When they were in Toronto, they played a lot more free, and they won both those games. Where it seems like they've tensed up a little bit the last couple of games at home.
Okay. Big Glenn, your thoughts?
I think Toronto is starting to figure this bad boy out. Their bats are hot.
I did think it was interesting that for Seattle last night, the only 2 batters that actually got hits last night was the guys that they brought in at the trade deadline, and Suarez and Naylor. Everybody else went 0 for whatever. So I gotta give Seattle some serious credit. Like the 2 guys that they picked up were spot on. I mean, they have contributed. I mean, I don't know if that's on their scouting department, scouting that out, but I mean, literally, they struck gold at the trade deadline. I felt Seattle did. They're not typically the ones to trade at the deadline.
Okay, guys, let's change topics. Let's go to some football. We'll do Monday Night Football first before we jump into some NFL games for Sunday. Monday Night Football last night, we had Cincinnati against Pittsburgh.
Thursday,
And that
Tony.
What?
Thursday.
They said Thursday. Yeah.
Well,
You had
that's
a
not so.
senior moment. Yeah, it's
You
Thursday.
said Monday. You said Monday. It was
Did I
Thursday.
say Monday? Okay, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
you're Tony.
Okay, I'm old and I'm senile. So
No.
last
There's no
month-
excuse on this show, Tony. We go for blood. You make a mistake on this show. That's poor execution, Tony. And we
That's
will
true.
point you out.
I agree 100%. Okay, Cincinnati got a big win against Pittsburgh last night, and the quarterback for Cincinnati had an outstanding game, 470 total yards, 300. Cincinnati had 470 total yards. He had 328 passing. Cincinnati had 142 rushing, no turnovers, only gave up 2 sacks, and controlled the football for 34 minutes of the game. So Flacco did a great job for Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, not too bad, 396 total yards, 249 passing, 147 yards rushing. It only had the ball 25 minutes, but they did have 2 interceptions, so 2 turnovers. So, guys, what do you guys think of Cincinnati winning, and what do you think of Flacco, Chris?
Well, I told you yesterday that I thought it was going to be a close game, and but I also said I thought it'd be a low-scoring game. I didn't think it was going to be a shootout. Both quarterbacks played real well. Flacco played well. Rodgers played well. He threw the 1 bad interception. The other interception was a hell of a fucking play by the corner to get that ball on the sideline from the receiver right there. But no, Pittsburgh's defense is what cost him that game. Like the offense, it wasn't the offense. Offense scored 30 points, but Pittsburgh's defense made Joe Flacco look like a Pro Bowl quarterback, just like they did first week of the season. They made Justin Fields look so good game one of the season that Jay thought the Jets was good. That's how good the Steelers made Fields look. So, and then you see what a 40-year-old Flacco did last night.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, defensive coordinator of the Steelers needs fired. You know, their best player that they have on their roster right now that's available because Joe Burrow's hurt is Jamar Chase. You know that's who they're going to try to throw the ball to. He gets targeted 24 times, has 16 catches. Would have had 18 catches if he didn't drop 2 of them.
Yeah.
And that last one was a huge
dropped
one.
one on the sideline. So he could have had 18, 19 catches in that game. How are you double teaming somebody else and leaving him one-on-one? That makes no sense at all. I'd fire that defensive coordinator today.
Exactly, Gonzo. And that last catch was a huge one because it allowed them to milk the rest of the freaking clock out.
Well, that was Higgins, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Still a big game though.
Well, yeah, earlier Joe put up that football's fixed, and last night's game was fixed because they went for the field goal. Joe, that's called time management.
That was a smart play by Higgins.
Yeah, smart play. You give them the ball, they get the ball back to 11 seconds left. If you score too soon, they're going to get the ball back with plenty of time left and have a chance to win the game. There they had no chance.
If Higgins gets that touchdown there, you're up 8 points, and you're up 8 points. But now the Steelers have the ball with it's been like a minute and a half.
Yep.
Like a minute and 45 seconds to go down and try to tie the game. So this way, if you knew you weren't going to have to give him the ball back, if you did give him the ball back, it's only going to be with 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think it ended up being 11, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, 11. I think it was 11.
Well, here's the biggest that guy. Oh, I'm sorry, Glenn. Go ahead. I apologize.
Yeah, did you have anything else?
Seeing Joe Vick, man, or hit that run late in the game, man, that was something else, man.
Joe Vick.
Yeah, I have to go there on that because that's exactly what the first thing that popped in my mind last night.
I started laughing when he ran the option and took off running. I was sitting in here cracking up.
And everybody was
like over like 30 yards on you.
And Thursday night games, they usually have the under. So it was pretty cool to see the under got smashed or the over got smashed last night. But I got to go. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, man.
All right, man. Be good, brother.
All right, Jay.
Am I the only one that's like finally happy he's gone? Because like him on the screen was like creepy looking. I know it's Halloween time. I'm not used to Glenn being on screen. But God,
hey, listen, you do know. No, listen. You do know that Glenn is a direct descendant of Ed Gein. You do know that, right?
Oh my God, don't be saying that.
Usually when he's on, if he has his camera on, he at least has a hat on. He didn't have a hat on today.
Nope.
Mother. I myself when he first came in because I busted out laughing so loud while Chris was. I didn't want to interrupt Chris talking by me just laughing, but as soon as he came on the screen, I quickly muted myself. I said, "What the shit?" and started laughing.
Good Lord. Okay, Jay, your thoughts on last night's game?
Mother, we have company, Mother. Okay, I'm sorry.
Mother wouldn't like that, Jay.
he did look a little creepy though, a little creeper over there. Anyway. No, I will say this: if I ever see Glenn in a van come up next to me, I'm fucking running. But anyway, I just want to say, look, one stat you guys have failed to think about or mention, and I didn't really think about until the other day when I wanted to see what Flacco did previously, is Flacco actually has probably he has the best record against the Steelers of any quarterback since Flacco came in the league in 2008. He's actually 12-11 versus the Steelers, and that includes the playoffs. So, my point is this: Flacco gears up. I mean, this is a team that Flacco gears up for. I think we've all said that. Hasn't he been on just about every? With the exception of the Steelers, he's played for every team in the North. Correct? If my stats are correct on that? So he has a lot of time playing against the Steelers, and that's just the one game where he just gets up for. And I don't know, a lot of people say he went back into a time machine. I do believe he went back into a time machine because, like you said, Tony and Glenn pointed out, I ain't never seen that man run like that, and he actually ran a pretty good run. So a little bit of fountain of youth, but don't get people don't get well. You know, if you're Cincinnati or not, excuse me, if you're Cleveland or you having buyer's remorse. It's one game. It's one game against a team that he goes against really well. And let's not forget, Chase and Higgins, he actually has weapons.
Yeah.
And when you give a man some weapons, he can do some things. And he does have a quick release, which is great because, you know, Cincinnati's offensive line doesn't give you a whole lot of time. So, I mean, it was a great, I think this is the best situation for Flacco to be in. Outside the offensive line, I still think that could give him some trouble with teams that have better or more efficient pass rushes that could come into as a play. But for right now, at least against this Steelers team, you know, he looked really good. And obviously Chase was it Chase Brown? Is it Chase Brown, their running back? He had a really good game.
Yeah.
He had a good game. I mean, they ran the ball effectively, and that's because the passing game opened up the running game. And I mean, ultimately, it was a good team win all the way around for that organization.
Okay, Frankie.
Yeah. So I mentioned this when the trade actually went down. I said, you know, Joe Flacco is going to be a good quarterback for this squad, and he just showed it yesterday. And there's many reasons why you guys all pointed it to it. You know, Jay, you know, being a guy who's played for every team in the North except for the Steelers, he's comfortable going up against the Steelers, which is why Mike Tomlin was so upset going to the media, getting pissed that a rival team would trade him to another rival team right before they play the Steelers, because Mike Tomlin knows he can't beat Joe Flacco. Also, another point to point out was the offensive line was absolutely dominant last night. And I understand what Jay's saying. You know, you can improve a little bit on there, but last night itself, that offensive line was doing absolutely wonderful for Joe Flacco. And I did mention how Joe Flacco has a fast release, which Jay and Chris has said prior and before him getting traded, or during when he got traded, is he's got a quick release. He showed that yesterday. But what we also saw yesterday was how that offensive line was so effective, which is why Chase Brown was able to have 100 rushing yards, 106 rushing yards in that game, or even more than that. But him having the quick release and having that offensive line just made the Bengals look a little bit better. I think it's just more of the Steelers' defense to me that lost this game. And that's what Chris said as well. It was that Steelers defense, because I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, and I heard Jay just a minute ago saying, you know, that offensive line, you can, do a little bit better because if you go up against a better pass rush defense. Listen, there's no better pass rush defense than the Steelers right now, honestly. If you really look at paper, you have TJ Watt and you have Cameron Hayward. There's no way in hell you can tell me that offensive line, who is literally terrible in the league right now, is good enough to stop those two captains of the defensive line, who's just been balling out since week 2. I get, what Gonzo said about week 1, making Justin Fields look like an absolute stud. He looked like an MVP candidate to start the year, and that's what happened last night with Joe Flacco. That defensive line was absolutely shut down because of how well that offensive line stood up. I don't know if it was more of a let's give it an extra week because Joe Flacco just got here. They lost last week, but we saw in the second half how effective the Bengals were going to be last week against the Packers. But then coming out this week, I feel like they're more comfortable with Joe Flacco as quarterback now rather than having Browning there. And then Jamar Chase, he had an absolute – when you have a quarterback throwing 23 to 24 times at one receiver, what the hell? I mean, what's going on? How can you not stop that? That goes down to the defense again. He's like they're not even hiding it. They wasn't hiding it at all. That whole entire game, it was Joe Flacco and the Jamar Chase show. That's all it was. Yeah, we got a T Higgins here and there. Yeah, we have a tight end here and there. Yeah, Chase Brown, he's gonna be our running guy when we need him the most. Joe Flacco get a couple yards looking like Michael Vick, as Glenn said, or we call him Joe Vick now. But the whole game was Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco, and you don't stop it. And it goes back to what Chris said. That defensive coordinator needs to get fired, because if you have a quarterback throwing to one receiver 23 to 24 times, and he catches it about 18 times, which is a high in the league this year already, this alone for targets, not receptions, but for targets, that's insane to me. And it's not just all Jay, Chris, and Tony was against Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey got smoked all game by Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco. You got flagged on many pass interferences, many holding calls. You got flagged. You got beat out. You got outrun. You got out touchdown. I mean, Jalen Ramsey looked like he should retire last night after that. I don't know if they needed to I don't know what the hell happened, but like I started laughing at Jalen Ramsey. I'm like, this is why Miami traded you, bro. This is why Miami traded you away, because they seen what was going to happen. It wouldn't have made Miami better, because obviously it didn't. But like, it doesn't even make the Steelers look better if you have a wide receiver catching the ball 23, 24 times, or targeted 23, 24 times, and you catch it almost 20. Like, what the hell is going on? So the defensive coordinator needs to get fired. Mike Tomlin needs to step the hell up. I was about to curse right there because it pissed me off. Mike Tomlin needs to step the hell up as a head coach. And then Jalen Ramsey, you need to sit your ass down. Clearly, you don't got it anymore. Right now, you're just on the field collecting money. You can tell you don't got it no more when you're nonstop getting flagged for pass interference and holding. That means you're slow as hell now, kid. I don't know.
I wish I didn't have it anymore, just collecting paychecks. I love to collect those paychecks.
I don't know what's going on, but that defense failed Aaron Rodgers because that man came out before the 2-minute warning and got you that 1-point lead. That defense pissed Aaron Rodgers off. You could see it on the sideline when Cincinnati kept driving that ball down the field. He's over here rubbing his face like, what the hell is going on? Like, he just got you a touchdown to get the 1-point lead, and you guys couldn't stop the defense not one time. You stopped them before to get them a 3-and-out, and then on the final time they get the ball, you couldn't stop them again. It goes to what we were talking about early, Jay. Was this a gambling situation? Did the Steelers defense hold back a little bit because of a gambling situation? Or is it true the Steelers defense isn't as good as we truly thought, because they were good the last 3-4 weeks, and then you come out tonight and you look like the team that just started the season? It makes no sense to me. It's really mind-blowing to me. And this is a good defense. The Steelers always have a good defense. Last night, they just didn't show it. They really did it. And I want to give a shout-out to the linemen who jumped on Aaron Rodgers after that touchdown and pissed him off. Ain't nothing more better than seeing Aaron Rodgers pissed off at his own teammates because he's getting jumped on for celebrating. He was so mad.
My thing is, I don't, this is just one game for Flacco. I mean, I really still don't put too much stock into Flacco, right? I mean, I just don't. But what I don't understand is, because he only got sacked 2 times, what's going on with Cincinnati's offensive line? Because where was this offensive line when Browning was there, and they hung him out to dry a couple of times when they messed their blocking assignments, which is what I don't understand. Because this wasn't the same offensive line for Browning. It wasn't.
But Browning don't have a quick release. Flacco,
that's true. He does.
Flacco's got experience, and he was getting that ball out of there. So I think just Flacco's experience is the biggest difference now. Whether this is going to, I mean, they're 3-4, they're not out of division. I don't know if they're going to be able to. I mean, you got Baltimore who's reeling. So I mean, can Cincinnati get back in this division? If you go by that game last night, yes. But I mean, it's still a long way to go.
And I think Flacco brought some confidence to the Bengals team and to that offensive line because of his experience. And
that's what I was thinking.
And they have faith in him that he's going to get him in the right play, and he's going to help him by getting rid of the ball quick. But the thing is, they don't need Flacco to win 8-9 games. All they need Flacco to do is win 2 or 3 of the next 4 games and let Joe Burrow get back. And if they could do that, they could still have a chance when Burrow got back.
I mean, let's face it, Chris, you're right. No, you're absolutely correct, because who in that division really can compete with them? Steelers? Because the Ravens aren't, right?
That's what I'm saying. The Steelers are supposed to be the team in that division right now because of the Ravens injuries and the Bengals injuries. So that's what I mean. If Flacco could win 2 of their next 4 games and keep them right there almost at 500, and then Burrow get back, I mean, who knows what the Bengals could do?
Realistically, Chris, if I'm the Bengals at this very moment, I'm not even bringing Joe Burrow back. And I know it's crazy to say because he's the franchise guy and he's their young dude. But I think him coming back, he's not going to be 100%. Right now, after what Joe Flacco just did last night, and if he can continue to do it, I would ride with Joe Flacco. He's a Super Bowl MVP quarterback, right? He's been in this league for multiple years. He's a veteran. I wouldn't rush Joe Burrow to come back. I would say, listen, let's ride with Joe Flacco for the year. You sit down, you rest your ankle or whatever, and we're gonna start this over again next year when you're fully healthy. Because if you sit him down right now, that's about a 8-month window of him resting his ankle and getting 100% before next year starts. He'll be more effective next year rather than rushing him to come back. And I hear what you're saying, have him win 2 out of the next 4 to keep them in there. But if he could keep them in there and be a game behind Pittsburgh or a couple games behind Pittsburgh, who can't sit here and say that they could take the lead away from Pittsburgh because of Joe Flacco? He's already beat them once. I think they got to play them again. So if he's beat them once, he could beat them again. I would ride with the hot hand and keep Joe Flacco right now and sit Joe Burrow.
Man, you can't do that. You have everybody screaming, "Why are you sitting Burrow? Why are you sitting Burrow? Why are you not playing?" They're not going to sit that dude. Now, I do agree with you. I think they're going to bring it back when it's appropriate. If it being appropriate, meaning that they got a shot at a wild card and he's anywhere near 95%, you won't see Burrow on that field. I promise you that. It will not be Flacco.
Got that rap beat going there. Had a rap beat going there from. All right, guys, let's get into some Sunday football. We'll start off with the Rams versus Jacksonville. It's a 9:30 game, so I assume they're over in England somewhere or somewhere. I think they're in England, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's
Chris,
a London game.
Okay, Chris, your thoughts on the Rams and Jacksonville? 9:30 game Sunday.
I think it's going to be a good game. One thing that kind of worries me, because I like I want to pick the Rams is who I want to pick, but the Rams aren't even leaving to go to London till Saturday.
Huh?
They're waiting longer than any other team before they're going. And with the time change and stuff, I just don't know if that's the time difference. If that's a good idea to get there. They're basically keeping it like they would on it for any other game. They're getting there on Saturday, like they would for any other game. Which I get that you want to try to do that, but with the time change, I think that can really mess you up. We've seen some teams have trouble going over there, and a lot of them teams are over there for like 3, 4, 5 days before the game, and don't look right. Yep. So I'm going to go with the Rams, but it does worry me because I think it's a little strange waiting all the way till Saturday to go over there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go with the Rams. Jacksonville worries me with the running game. If they can get it going against the Rams, then I think Jacksonville can win. But Rams got a pretty good defense. Plus, I want Jacksonville to lose, so I'm going to go with the Rams. Okay, Jay.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm still riding with the Rams on this one, even though Jacksonville has definitely played better than what I have expected this team to play. So I got to give them major props for what they've done so far. But this Rams team, I mean, they got the defense, they got the run game, they got the receivers, and they got the quarterback and coaching. I just think this is going to be a little bit too much for this up-and-coming Jaguars team. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to come down to earth a little bit. But you got to give credit to what Cohen and company are doing over there because it's just phenomenal. I did not have them anywhere near this projection. I had them down there, at the bottom. I don't know if they're at the top right now. I think they're second place, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, probably right behind you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Game back. One thing about that is I think the Rams are going to be out their best receiver, though.
Is Nakua out?
Yeah, Puka got hurt.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be back. It's not looking good. I mean, he could possibly play, but I'm kind of doubting. He's on my team, and I'm monitoring it, but I don't think he's going to play.
You definitely know Devontae Adams is going to get the lion's share.
Well, you would think so. Frankie?
I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna pick the Rams on this one. I understand what Chris said before I hopped off. How the the time difference and the long travel, especially going on a Saturday, which I think is really weird to me. I don't. It's really weird, honestly. Like I would understand if they went on a Friday, but going on a Saturday, a day before the game, which is early in the morning, is really weird to me. But I'm gonna still go with the Rams on this, just because of I like Matthew Stafford as a quarterback. I really do. Even when he was with the Detroit Lions, he had put up good numbers. I think he'll be fine, even with the travel difference and the time difference. I'm not 100. I'm not gonna knock Jacksonville down. Jacksonville has, I have been keeping my eye on Jacksonville. I think last week's loss was a little bit of a shocker to some, but it was against the Seahawks. I do think in this one, even with Puka Nacua out, because I do think he's going to be out, Tony, which is sad for you. I apologize. Good for me, because I need you to lose again so I can get second place. Chris, I also need you to lose again so I can get second place. And Jay, I would like you to bench some of your players so that way I can score more points on you this week, so I can get the win and get first place. But but I think even with him out, don't overlook DK Metcalf. I think he don't have DK Metcalf. Devontae Adams. I apologize.
Yep.
Devontae Adams. I think just having Devontae Adams is going to be good enough for Matthew Stafford to get the win on this one.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, guys, we have Philadelphia at Minnesota. Jay, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Eagles and Vikings. If this is such a weird game for me. It's in Minnesota. I was tracking that. This Eagles defense is just not. I was asking Pags. I was like, Pags, what's going on with your defense? I said, your defense looks like garbage. I only got 2 fantasy points off them last week. As you know, the Eagles just look terrible. So and Minnesota does have Carson Wentz, and they're playing quite well. It's in Minnesota. I'm going to roll with Carson Wentz, and I'm going to roll with Minnesota on this one. I just think, for some reason, everything in my body is telling me that this is the game they're going to take it. I think they're going to take Philly out of it. This Philly team is not playing like the Philly team that we've seen. They're just not in it right now. They are not in it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. They're not looking good. I'm not sold on Carson there in Minnesota. I know he's not played bad, but I think Philadelphia figures out a way. Maybe a close game, but I think Philadelphia wins. Frankie?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Tony. I'm not 100% sold on Carson Wentz yet, and I understand what Jay said on their part, but I just don't. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to be enough to get this win. I understand their defense of the Eagles, but let's not forget that what's his name? Jalen Carter. He wasn't playing last week. So it was like literally it came down like right before the game that Jalen Carter wasn't going to play, which is what made Cam Skittleboo. Yeah, Skittleboo. We're gonna call him Skittleboo because he was tasting the rainbows last week. So Skittleboo was running all over that defensive line. The reason why was because Jalen Carter wasn't playing. I expect Jalen Carter to play this week, and I expect the defense to be a little bit better this week. And I believe, and I'm hoping that Saquon Barkley gets the ball more. I really do hope Saquon Barkley gets the ball more, so that way they can go back to the Eagles offense that won them that Super Bowl last year. I'm hoping that they do it this time around. So I'm going with the Eagles over the Vikings.
Okay. Chris?
They have the Eagles as 2.5 point favorites on the road. I like the Vikings in this game. I think the Vikings are actually better with Wentz at quarterback than what they were with McCarthy the first couple games. Vikings are coming off a bye at home, and with that defense they have, I think they'll be able to give a struggling Eagles offense some trouble. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
Okay. Next up game we have New England at Tennessee. Frankie, what do you think about your team this week?
I think we're gonna annihilate Titans. Honestly, I really do, and it's not no just fandom thing out of me. I really do think that Mike Vrabel is gonna come out with fire against the team that fired him after getting that team to the AFC Championship game. I think Drake May is gonna ball out really well, as he's always been doing all year long already. And I expect his defense to just annihilate that offense of the Titans, who really don't have a head coach right now. They have an interim coach who literally was in the same coaching staff as the coach that they just fired. So, I mean, we're not going to see no difference in the Titans. So I expect my team to dominate this week.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think New England wins by 17, 20 points. New England's playing fairly well, and Tennessee's is reeling. So, Jay?
Yeah, man. You'll never hear me do this. But Frank, I got to tell you, man, I picked in my suicide poll, I picked New England over the Titans for sure. Not that that's a hard pick. Yeah,
that's a market death.
He did that's a market death. No. Hey, look, man. A lot of things are the reason why I took them in my suicide pool. One of them is Vrabel, the storylines. Vrabel, like you said, he's going up against his old team. There's nothing better than a coach going up against his old team. He wants to show them who, because he got fired. So he's like, and like he just left there. So he's got a little bit of a sourness to that team. So I definitely, he's going to have New England ready to go. He's going to have them max prepped and ready for this. Drake May is a good quarterback. What's interesting to me about this game, or not really just this game, but just Cam Ward as a quarterback for Tennessee is, I don't know if you guys saw the clip when he said, I wish they would just let me play the way I want to play. Because if you let me play, I want to play, that this league is going to rule. They basically said the league is going to be effed, right? if you did y'all see when he said that? He said, you let me play the way I want to play, and this league is basically screwed. That's what Cam Ward said. That tells me that New England isn't letting him play his game. They're modifying the game he's playing. I don't know if that's a smart move on Tennessee's part to not let your quarterback play the way he plays. That's what got him there. That's why you drafted him. Now, I understand they're probably going to say, well, this is the system we're running. This is the system we want to do. Well, maybe he doesn't fit that system. Clearly, he doesn't fit the system because he's not happy with it. Cam Ward is not happy in Tennessee, flat out. So I feel like if my general isn't happy with his team or with the way they're letting him play, that means they're not compatible. They're not on the same page. And when a team isn't on the same page and your general isn't on the same page with the coach, that tells me bad things. So that's why I chose the Patriots. That was the main reason why I chose the Patriots in this game. I just don't think that Tennessee has their shit together.
Also, Cam Ward's number one target, Calvin Ridley, would be out this game. He's not.
I didn't know that.
He's dealing with a hamstring injury. News came out today that he's gonna be out for Sunday's game.
Oh wow. Okay. That's even more reason then.
Chris, your thoughts?
I hadn't heard that about Cam Ward complaining about having to run the offense. If that's the case, I wouldn't want him on my team.
Yeah.
I mean, because what you're saying, they should change and let him play how he wants to play, but we're saying the totally opposite about Caleb Williams in Chicago. We're saying that Caleb Williams is trying to play too much hero ball and run around, but he needs to listen to Ben Johnson and play in structure, get rid of the ball on time. If I'm drafting a quarterback and you can't handle that, you're not a quarterback in my opinion. Like if he just wants to play high school or play schoolyard football, that don't work in the NFL.
I don't know if he's want to play schoolyard football, but at the same time, if I'm drafting a quarterback and I know the style in which he plays, do I really want to try to fit a square peg into a round hole?
So you're saying
that doesn't make sense.
So do you think the Bears shouldn't have got Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams?
No, what I'm saying is, and it goes with the Tennessee Titans too. We'll just lump them both together. My thing is if you know your system that the team is trying to run, then why wouldn't you draft a quarterback that fits that system? That's what I think Cam Ward probably shouldn't have gone to Tennessee if that's the style of offense they plan to run, because it doesn't fit his style of play. I think you have to fit the player with the system. You know what I'm saying? Because some people can't play a certain system. That's just not how they do. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you both saying, and I think that's the reason why Tennessee ended up firing their coach, because they're looking at it as more, we're going to hear our franchise quarterback more because he's our number one draft pick. You know, he's the guy, and our coach that we got now literally only has a total of 4 wins in 2 seasons. That's a no-no. So I believe in what Cam Ward is saying. If he's not happy with the way the style of play is going on here, let's get rid of this coach and let's get a coach that will be okay with letting Cam Ward play Cam Ward ball. But I also agree with Chris. Don't let your quarterback come out and want to play his style of ball, because if he tries to play his style of ball and it doesn't work out, now you're in a lose-lose situation, because you let go of the coach that was playing different type of ball, so that way your quarterback can be happy and play his ball, but when he play his ball, it's still not getting you anywhere. So now it's more of a, what are we going to do from here now? So I get what you guys are both saying, which is why I think the Titans let their coach go, because now we're going to see Cam Moore try and play Cam Moore ball. But let's see if Gonzo's right. Let's see if he goes out there and does that. And if he does and it doesn't work out, then guess what, Cam Ward? Don't be surprised if they start treating you like the coach treated Anthony Richardson. But
that's my thing, right? So if I'm Cam Ward, I'm like, look, you drafted me because I play extremely well this way. Now you want to make me this way, and I don't look so good. Yeah, I don't look so good because that's not how I play. That's not my style of play. That's like taking Joe Flacco and saying, okay, Joe Flacco, we're going to put you in a running system, but I'm a pocket passer. I don't care. You're going to play in a running system. You better start learning how to run. I don't know. I just feel like
Joe Flacco was running the ball last night.
Okay, come on now. No, but sir, do you fit the system to your general or the general to the system? And I think you got to fit the system to the general.
That's
the way he runs. That's the way he operates.
That's difficult. I mean, I think it can be done, but you may it's the players you have around you. And I don't know if Tennessee is built for that right now. So, it may take a couple of years. I mean, because how many people run that system? Who wants to play? Philadelphia maybe runs that system a little bit. Maybe the Ravens run that system. Maybe a couple other teams, but there's not that many people that run that type of system. So, I mean, the chances of him getting on those teams, I just don't know. The kid better be careful.
If my team is in the toilet right now,
which they are,
and my quarterback is telling me, "Hey, let me run free. We can do this. I can win more games. Whatever." You know what? What do I really have to lose? You know what? Fuck it. Let him run. Let him do. Because at the end of the day, if it does pan out, well then great. And if it doesn't, then we can say, "All right, we tried it your way, didn't work. Come back this direction."
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I feel like you do have to listen to your general because you know what? At the end of the day, he's the player on the field that everybody's going to criticize and everybody's going to come down on him and the coach.
Yep.
So watch this. If I'm going to be the one that goes in front of the microphone and has to say what my play sucks, don't say what my play sucks because they're trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, and some of that may be on the franchise itself because
for sure.
Because they should have had an idea what type of offense the Callahan's going to run. So you go out there and you draft this quarterback that doesn't fit that system. That's kind of on. I mean, I'm not saying Callahan didn't want them or wanted them. I don't know. We don't know that. But it's interesting. Guys, Chris, did you give your thoughts on that game? I think you did, or did you?
No, he didn't. I want to hear him. I want to hear him say it.
Patriots are going to win by 50.
Oh, you got my nipples hard, Chris.
I said 17-20.
Oh, just some Tom Brady blowout numbers. Oh, Chris.
I don't expect much out of Tennessee at all. They just fired their coach. I don't expect, and the Colts kind of broke Tennessee. We put a beating on them, and then they decided to fire the coach and everything. So I think.
Thank you.
I'll finish them off.
Thank you.
All right.
They fired the coach. Why would they not fire the coordinator too and just clean house and start fresh?
No, because that's what they do, Jay. They normally fire the head coach
because Tennessee has. Plus, Tennessee has 3 GMs and an owner that tries to trump all 3 of their GMs they have. They're like Tennessee's stupid. That's why. Like they fired Mike Vrabel.
Exactly.
Now look where they're at.
Look, Bud Adams has been Bud Adams since his days in Houston when he was playing in the Astrodome. That dude's always been like that. He has
No, he's
never
not the one
been
that
any
runs it.
different.
He's not, it's a lady.
Yeah,
It's a lady.
lady on the team now.
Yeah, a lady
Lady
that owns
on
it
the
now.
Yeah.
And nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that because Indy
Well,
is run
apparently
by a
not
lady.
because,
And look,
No, I'm not
Indy,
saying there's
look,
anything
baby.
wrong with it. I'm just
No.
saying that Bud Adams don't run it no more.
No, I know.
No, apparently it's not because look what them ladies, the Irsay daughters are doing for Indianapolis. I mean,
That's what I'm
Irsay,
saying.
you know what? The way I look at Irsay should have stepped down a long time ago and let these daughters run this show. Is what I'm thinking, and just let
Hey,
them go
Jerry
play with all
Jones.
the guitars and memorabilia.
Well,
Hey,
Jay,
Jerry Jones, don't you got a daughter? Let her take over. Step down, Jerry.
he's been training them daughters, especially that one, for about the last 3 years.
Yeah.
They-
Well, they
they've been learning.
got it going on over there right now. I got to tell you, I mean, that franchise is doing great.
Okay, guys.
Did you-
Next up,
Hey, Dad, did you see
Carolina.
what- Hey, real quick, Dad, did you see what DeForest Buckner had to wear because he made that bet with one of the Colts owners?
Yeah,
He had to wear the IU candy cane pants and a whole
Yeah.
IU outfit because
yeah, because
he's from Oregon.
he's from
And
Oregon.
him and one of the owners of the Colts had a bet, and if Oregon won, she was going to have to wear the Oregon mascot outfit
Okay.
for like a day. But since IU won, he had to wear IU outfit with the pinstripe pants and all kinds of stuff.
All right,
during
listen,
press-
listen, guys.
during
We
press
gave your
conference.
Colts some credit. All right, this isn't a sequel of let's throw out
Hey.
some good things of our indie teams right now. Okay.
Hey, I'm just acting like Jay. I got to bring it back to my Colts just like he would the Astros.
All right.
We're gonna
guys.
hey, just don't bring it back to that trash institution y'all call Indiana University because them a bunch of bums.
Hey, we're better than Texas. We're ranked higher in
Out
Texas,
there.
and we
Whatever say about Texas. You know how great Texas is? It's the best damn state in the union.
Okay. Let's move on. We got a bunch more games. We got Carolina at the Jets. Chris, your thought on Carolina at the Jets? I'll give mine real quick. I think Carolina's going to beat the shit out of them.
yeah, I think Panthers win. I don't think it's going to be that close of a game either.
I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go opposite, and not because you guys are and I'm not going opposite because you're picking the Panthers. I am going to put my foot where my mouth is. I have been saying this since day one. And I told you guys, I feel like this Jets team. You shut your pie hole.
If you come out and you say that this Jets team is making a difference or looking different, I'm gonna kick you off the stream.
No, I'm saying that I think this is where they get their first win. I don't think they're gonna go. I don't think they go undefeated or they'll go 0-0 for whatever. I don't think they put up a goose egg as a final record. I feel like they got to win one game. They're gonna win one game, and I think this is probably their best opportunity. So I'm gonna go Jets over Panthers for a crazy weird upset.
I think
like
Carolina.
the Panthers.
I think the Dallas killer, that running back, is going to run all over the Jets. That's what I think is going to happen.
But see, that's the one thing though about the Jets, though. The Jets do have a good defense. They have a D.
Where?
You know they have a D. Stop it.
Where?
You know they have a D. Don't play hate like
Where?
It hasn't been great this year, Jay.
Seriously, look at Chris. Chris is
When's
doing
the last time the Jets have had a good defense? We keep saying that, but when's the last time they were good? They ain't been good. They ain't had a good defense.
Well, in all fairness, that they have been on the field a lot due to that offense. It's not like I'm pretty sure they're pretty damn exhausted when they play them games.
Well, since they fired that last head coach, I think the defense really went downhill. That's when I think their defense was decent when they had the other coach. Saline or something.
I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to make it through the whole season as a coach.
I think
he's going to get fired before the end of the season.
I think he's lost.
I just realized Garrett Wilson is doubtful for that game. It says with his knee.
No.
He don't play defense.
No, hold on. Listed as doubtful for Sunday's game against the Panthers. Revealed Friday. No, seriously, if Garrett Wilson's not there, that's a big part of that offense.
Oh well, keep your pick. Keep your pick.
I'll keep it. I'm not changing it, but I am saying that is going to hurt them somewhat.
Frankie, your thought on the game?
I never go for the Jets.
I never go for the Jets. So I don't care who they're playing. Listen, you got a Carolina Panthers team who just ran the ball all over the Dallas Cowboys and didn't let the Dallas Cowboys win, let alone not even get them into overtime or try and do anything. No, they just went in there and they beat Dallas. I guarantee Carolina's going to go in there and they're going to beat the hell out of the Jets. I feel like I have one people feel like the Jets could lose every single game this season. But to answer the question, I did get news on Bleacher Report that Aaron Glenn job is likely safe right now, but that's right now. I guarantee you we're going to see a different route if they lose to the Panthers this Sunday, which is most likely going to happen. And it's funny, Tony, because this is a defensive coordinator guy. They got him from Detroit, who had a good defense last year. Then you're a defensive-minded coach. You come to become a head coach for the Jets, and your defense is still trash. And I don't know where Jay is looking at this defense saying they're making improvements. I see no damn improvements. I see no – they still have yet – we're 6 weeks in, and they have yet to still convert a turnover. They haven't gotten a fumble. They haven't picked off any quarterback. They can't get the turnover. And to answer your question, Jay, they're probably tired because they can't get the goddamn stops. It's not based on the offense. It's them not being able to stop the offense from getting them out. So if they can stop the offense, maybe they'll get more rest. But they can't because they're freaking trash. They're trash. I don't understand where you see improvement in this defense. Tony said this last week, and his entire mind changed and said, I'm going to ride with Frankie. He's right. This team is trash. I don't see.
But you know what? Well, think about it like this. Okay, let me ask you this. I hear where you're going with that. But if you take if you take the Buffalo game out of the equation, that was a 30-10 loss. If you take the Buffalo game out of the equation and look at the rest of the teams that they played and look at the scores, we're talking one possession wins for everybody that play the Jets. One possession. I mean, they played some good opponents. So I mean, if you can get within 2 points of the Rams and within 6 of the Buccaneers and things of that nature, who's to say you can't beat the damn Carolina Panthers? It's not like we're talking about the world's greatest team in the world here. The Panthers suck too. Yes, they had Rico Dowdle put one on Dallas, but Dallas's defense has been pretty suspect too. Let's be honest. I'm being honest. It's my team. My secondary suspect. No, I got my damn cornerback slipping and falling in the bathroom and having a concussion and can't play. Shit happens. Okay, shit happens. But I will tell you this. There's also a thing called upsets. And I do think this is, I mean, it's not really much of an upset because you're going against Carolina. But when everybody talks about it's the Jets, and it might as well be an upset at this point.
Okay.
The fact that you're sitting there saying, well, it's Carolina, they suck, and they just beat your team, I feel like you have no right to say they suck.
Carolina's great.
But I'm not saying they're great.
I'm not saying they're great, but Carolina's a lot better team than what people are giving them credit for.
I don't think they're a bad team, but what I am saying is, would you say that Tampa Bay, would you say that Rams, would you say that Kansas City and all these other teams are better than Carolina, or would you say Carolina's better than them? Because these teams that they played are the top echelon teams of the league, and they're only getting them by one damn possession. One. So, I mean, it's not like they're competing.
It don't matter if you lose by 1 point or 15, you still lost.
Oh, I get it. We're going to go that bullshit metaphor. I get it, too.
That's a bullshit.
Well, I mean, it's not that it's bullshit. Maybe that was the wrong part.
You said their defense is so great.
Generic.
Their defense is so great. How many points a game is their defense giving up? Because they gave their defense.
They're giving up. Well, okay, that's a valid question. That actually is a valid question. Okay, so how many? So they're giving up. Okay, so here's the deal. They are scoring on average, the Jets 20.5, and the opponent is getting 28.3. And you're so hold on. I get it, but keep it in perspective. It's 28 to some of the best teams in the league, not Carolina's best team in the leagues. So they're gonna put up points, Chris. I'm not saying that you're not wrong, but again, 8-point differential, which is what I just said to you a minute ago. They're losing by one possession. My point is this: if I can compete with the guy with some pretty hard competition, why is it so hard to say that I can't beat a lesser competition in the league in Carolina? Why is that so crazy to believe that?
I don't think the Jets are. I don't think Carolina is a lesser competition. I think Carolina is a better football team than the Jets.
Oh yeah, I mean they're definitely having a better season. I'm not saying they're not better. I'm saying that the Jets can compete with them, and the fact that and look, we all know that we've seen our teams lose on games that they should have won. Kansas City is a prime example of there are games out there that they should have won. Dallas has had games where they should have won. Who's to say that the Jets, which I believe at some point Murphy's Law, they got to win at least one. I don't think they go over. I think they get at least one win, and I think this is the best chance they're going to have to get that win. I'm just playing laws of averages on that. That's why I said I think they get the win.
Okay, guys, let's move on. We got Miami.
One more question. Is the Miami Dolphins a good football team?
See, Tony, I hate when you raise your son to say one more question. Because I swear to God, it's always a setup question.
No.
But go ahead. I feel like I'm being said. No, is Miami a good team? No, I think we all know that they're not a good team.
They scored 27 points against that great Jets defense. So it's just not good.
You made a point. I agree with you.
They're
I'm not
doing
disagreeing
that
with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. You've made a good, valid point. But you also got to say, okay, but at the same token, we're cherry picking too sometimes, right? I mean, we're cherry picking a little bit.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go Miami at Cleveland. I'll go first. I think Cleveland defeats Miami. I think at home, I think Cleveland will beat Miami by at least 7. Jay?
Yeah, I believe that. I think Dylan Gabriel, this is going to be some more tune-up games for Dylan before he faces even tougher competition. I like Dylan Gabriel. I think he's doing a good job. I definitely, and Miami is just a disarray right now. I mean, that team is just you're at the point where McDaniels is even saying some crazy things. So no, I definitely think that Cleveland will get that win.
I think if Miami loses this game but if it's a close game, I think he'll be all right. But I think if they lose this game by 14, 20 points, I think McDaniel loses his job this coming week. Chris, your thoughts on this thing?
I think Cleveland wins. It's supposed to be raining and winds as high as
50 miles an hour.
Yeah, winds as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour. Miami ain't built for that kind of weather either. So, and I think Cleveland has a better team than Miami right now. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick before we go to the next game. Frankie said his phone is dying. I think his phone is dying like his takes were dying. So good job.
Okay. Next up is New Orleans at Chicago. I like Chicago. It's at Chicago. New Orleans is up and down. They're not a really good team. They show some signs of life every now and then, but I don't think they have enough to compete with Chicago the way Chicago's playing right now. So I've got Chicago. Chris?
Yeah, I'll go with Chicago.
Okay. Jay?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Chicago too. I do think Ben Johnson's done a great job with that organization. I think he's definitely putting a different culture in there. You can see they're playing different, they're talking different, they're acting different. You can see the Ben Johnson effect is starting to take a hold there. Now I do believe that they're gonna get the win tonight, but I really like what they're doing over there. I mean, you can see they're coming along.
Yeah, I agree. Raiders at KC. It's at Kansas City. If it was at the Raiders, I think they'd have more of a chance since the rivalry game. But the quarterback's not playing well for the Raiders right now. They're not looking good offensively. I like Kansas City by 7 to 10 points. Jay?
He's back. Rashee Rice is back. So that's just going to be one more weapon for Patrick Mahomes to throw to. He's been doing good getting Xavier Worthy involved, Kelsey involved, everybody getting involved. So just having Rashee Rice there, that's that vertical deep threat that's really going to open up the playbook, open up the offense, probably give some more room for Pacheco to actually start getting some yardage. So, yeah, man, I'm going with the Chiefs on this one. I think the Raiders, there's some issues there. I think with Geno and whatnot. So I think, and I don't even know if Brock Bowers, is he injured or is he in this game?
I'm not sure about Bowers.
Because I don't think he played last week, did he?
I don't think so.
Well, regardless, I'm taking the Chiefs, but I'd be curious to see if Brock Bowers plays or not.
Chris, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, Chiefs are going to win.
Okay. Next up, we have the Colts at the Chargers. And this morning I think the Chargers was a slight favorite in this game. I think it was like 1.5 or something. This morning when I seen, I believe I was watching McAfee. Well, it was that early afternoon, I guess. Chargers can play pretty good defense at times. I think they're going to come after. They're going to try to find a way to come after the quarterback. That hasn't worked too much so far this year. I think it's going to be a close game, but I like the Colts coming out on top in this one. Chris?
I'll try and find the spread, but they have the Chargers as 1.5 point favorites at home. I like the Colts in this game. Chargers offense first couple of games this season they looked real good, but since then they've been up and down. They've lost a running back, Marion Hampton. He's on IR for a little bit. The Colts offense has been playing well, where the Chargers offense has kind of been up and down the last few weeks. And I like the way the Colts defense has been playing. So I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, Jay.
Yeah, real quick. If you have Brock Bowers on your fantasy league, if you're playing him, he actually missed Wednesday and Thursday's practice, and he's listed as questionable. But if you miss Wednesday and Thursday, keep an eye on Friday. Today, I should say, because if I was a betting man, I would bet that Brock Bowers doesn't play this weekend. If he's on your fantasy league, you may want to look for other options. But as far as not today's game, as far as the Chargers game goes, I'm going to roll with the Colts on this. I think you guys are playing good football right now. I think collectively your team is going in the right direction really, really well. When I look at San Diego, they came out sizzling hot, but I told you, I said the one thing I often question about the Chargers is can they stay healthy? And they've lost a lot of players due to injury. They lost against the Giants. They lost against the team. I think it was the Commanders, I believe they also lost against. But they beat, Miami, but it's Miami. Yeah, I just think the Colts they're missing that run game. They obviously lost Khalil Mack on the defense and things of that nature. So because of injuries, I'm going to go the other way and go with the Colts. I think you guys beat the Chargers.
The one thing that does worry me a little bit in this game is I think that without the lack of the running game for the Chargers, I think they're going to go after the defensive backs. I think they're going to try to go deep several times. So we got to be ready for that and not get beat by the deep ball, because I think the Chargers are going to take some deep shots.
Which I think we'll have Ward back this week too. That should help, as long as he don't get another concussion before during warmups.
Okay, guys, we've got 4 games left. And I tell you what, these 4 are not easy games, at least not for me. First one, the Giants at Denver. Denver's got a great defense. They're at home, but the Giants have been playing pretty well as of late. And I wonder how Dart's going to handle that Denver defense in Denver. So I'm going to give Denver in a close game. I'm going to think Denver's going to win by 3. Jay?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like the way Jackson Dart is playing. They've obviously had some quality wins under his plate, even though it hasn't been long. But I like what Bo Nix is doing. I like what this Denver team is doing. Is to have a good run game in J.D. Dobbins. So I'm gonna roll with Denver on this one. I like the way the Giants are going. Not necessarily in my division, because I like them at the bottom, but I do like the way that they are progressing. And Dable's going to need that to keep his job.
Chris?
I like the Giants in this game. I just don't trust Denver's offense. I don't think Denver's going to be able to score enough points on the Giants defense. I think the Giants defense has been playing pretty good, and with Scatterbo and Dart has been doing offensively. Denver just ain't been able to get it going offensively. Bo Nix hasn't looked the same this year as he did toward the second half of the season last year. He's really took a little bit of a step back this year, if you want to be honest. I'm gonna go with the Giants on this game, especially on the spread. I love the Giants +7.
Yeah, I would take that.
I don't know why. I wouldn't have Denver as a 7-point favorite in this game. I think that's too many points.
But I'm taking Denver by a field goal, but I think that I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants won by a field goal. I wouldn't be shocked. So, yeah. Playing at Denver, though, can be tough. Next game up, guys, Green Bay at Arizona. I don't know if Arizona's starting quarterback's going to be back. Harrison's under concussion protocol. I think he did maybe do a little bit, not practice, but through some walkthrough or something yesterday. I don't know about today. Arizona looked pretty good last week. Green Bay has not looked great. I almost want to pick an upset here, but because of the two injuries, I don't know if they're going to play. I'm going to take Green Bay. Jay?
Oh man, yeah. Who was Green Bay playing again?
Arizona.
Yeah, and Arizona's been having a rough go of it lately, especially with that run game with Trey Benson and Connor on the sidelines. What's going on with Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray?
Yeah, he's in concussion protocol. Harrison is. Murray, I don't know. I think Murray was an ankle. I think.
Yeah, and because I knew there was I didn't get to read the full article on that, but I knew there was an issue going on with Murray and Harrison. Look, guys, when you ain't got a run game and now you ain't got Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray, whatever the case, or whatever they definitely got some things going on that offense that's hinder them. So for that reason, I go Green Bay. I think Green Bay takes it pretty good.
Okay, Chris.
I like the Arizona Cardinals in this game. Kyler Murray could play. I think it's going to be questionable like it was last week, and it came down to right before the game or the day of the game that they ended up holding him out last week. But Jacoby Brissett came in and played. Honestly, might have played better than Kyler Murray had been playing. But anyway,
he did.
Brissett played real well. This Arizona team, I know that they don't have a great record, but they're not a bad team. They have one bad loss, and that was to Tennessee, and that was because they just made every damn mistake you can make in the second half of that game after getting up big. Their biggest problem is they've only played one half of a game. They ain't been able to put together a whole game. Even against the Colts last week, they were able to keep it close in the first half, but second half they played a lot better than they did in the first half.
Yeah.
And if you look at Green Bay, other than that first game of the year, they haven't played a complete game either. Other than that first game against Detroit, where they whipped up on Detroit, they lost to Cleveland Browns with Joe Flacco as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Everybody said Joe Flacco was so terrible. So I mean, we've seen holes in Green Bay as well. They haven't played a complete game. Being in Arizona, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
Okay. Next up, guys, we got Washington at Dallas. This is a tough one. I could go either way here. Dallas had a kind of an embarrassing loss, giving up that many yards rushing and everything. Washington is running the football a little better. But I like the way Dak's playing. I just need the defense to step up for Dallas a little bit. They hadn't played that bad against the run. It would have been the passing game. But last week, they just couldn't do anything against the run. But because it's at Dallas, I'm going to say Dallas by a field goal. Jay?
Yeah, man, this Dallas team is so hard to watch sometimes. It really is, guys. I mean, I love them, but it's hard to watch. And it's really hard to get behind them, especially after the Carolina game. I felt like if Carolina comes in and takes it to you, and with Rico Dowdle, look, we traded Parsons away, which I understand that with that too. But we got Clark, which is supposed to be a big time run stopper, and he has for most of the league or most of the season up till now, or actually up till the Carolina game. Our run defense was great, and then Carolina comes in and then just blows up our run defense to like almost 200 yards. I think Dowdle got.
Yep,
and that's a huge concern for me. So it's really hard to. And Commanders is a divisional rivalry game. McLaurin is out. I know McLaurin's not going to be there.
Yeah, he's out.
Oh man, this is such a hard one, man. I hate to root against my team or pick against my team. The fandom would tell me Dallas, but the podcaster tells me that Washington is great and what they're doing, and so I'm going to roll with Washington on. Even though I freaking hate it, I'm going to go with Washington on this.
Chris?
Yeah, I think Washington wins this game.
Yeah. Washington had a tough loss. They blew that game against Chicago on Monday.
Yeah.
So you think they'd be fired up for this one. And Dallas is reeling a little bit after last week, but they are back at home. And like I said, I like Dak. I I think Dak gets a bad rap. I think he's playing pretty well. Now, I don't know if he just don't have enough help.
Well, his problem, Dad, is he does that during the regular season, and then it gets toward the end of the season or in the playoffs in a big game, and then he don't show up. That's Dak's biggest problem.
Okay. Well,
Hold on, Joe. I know you're probably just laughing about. I know you're not really being serious, but Joe, look. I don't think I'm really dead to you because you love me too much. But Joe, let's be honest. Hold on. See, because sometimes we do get a little delusional in our fandom, and I get it because I used to be like that. But Joe, you have to look at it for what it is. You have to look at our team and be honest in the assessment of where we are, and be honest in the assessment of where the Commanders are, right? And if we're being honest with each other, right? You know, Trayvon Diggs. Well, obviously Trayvon Diggs won't be there because he's in concussion protocol. So we already had a crappy secondary, and now our secondary even got shittier. So now you got a shittier defense. I mean, let's be honest, Joe. I love my Cowboys. Joe, look, Joe. Yeah, look, you see that? I'll roll with it. But at the same time, Joe, we have to be pragmatic with what our team is, right? That's all I'm saying. We just got to be pragmatic with what our team is.
I think what happened was that what's the player that got hurt, Diggs, was asleep and he had a nightmare. He thought that running back from Carolina was coming at him, and he tried to get away and ran into the wall.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
He got a concussion.
Listen. I mean, seriously, like if you look at our secondary, it is just so bad. It really is. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen our quarterbacks get beat. Not just like a little bit, but like beat.
No. Oh, yeah, 10 feet. You got to be 10 feet behind him.
Come on, man. What are we doing, bro? Eberflus. 2 words. Fuck you.
All right, guys. Let's go to the
You want 2 more words, Eberflus? You're fired. I wish I could say that.
Go to the Sunday night game, Atlanta at San Francisco. San Francisco's had some injuries. Maybe they're going to start getting some guys back. I don't know. It's at home. Atlanta coming off a big win last week. And that means to me that Atlanta's going to not play well this week, and San Francisco is going to get the win. That's what I think is going to happen. I think San Francisco beats them this week. Chris.
This is a tough one. But with the 49ers being at home, I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Man, Bosa's out too for that game. Well, Bosa's out. I think he's out the whole. He tore his ACL, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's out for the year.
I'm just trying to run through my head people on their defense that I think are. I mean, the everything in me is telling me 49ers, but I got this little backwards hair telling me don't overlook Atlanta, don't overlook Drake London, don't overlook Penix, don't overlook Bijan Robinson. Even though they have McCaffrey and things like that, man. This is a hard one for me. I don't care, man. I'm gonna roll with. I'm gonna roll with Atlanta. I just feel like Atlanta's gonna come in there with something.
Okay. Well, guys, that's it for the NFL games. We won't worry about the Monday night games. There's 2 Monday night games at 7 and 10, but we'll talk about that Monday. I did know Jay real quick. Want to talk a little college? Let's do those 2 games real quick, and we'll get out of here. We've got let's see, got Tennessee at Alabama. Jay, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, man. I mean, Alabama, this is Frankie's team. He should really be here, but that's okay. And we do get CeeDee Lamb back. You're right, Joe. I apologize. I know we are getting CD back, but with that, but even still, man, I like Bama to take this one. Tennessee, I mean, this is a conference game, so both teams are going to be playing their hearts out. They're very well. They're very close. I was trying to see where Tennessee is ranked. We know where. They're ranked 11th. Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah. So Bama is ranked 6th right now. And this is a big game for Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee can really move up and get closer into that Final Four spot with the win against Bama. That would be huge. So I got to imagine this is going to be a close game. I don't think this is a blowout. Man. You know what? I'm going to roll with Tennessee Volunteers on this one. Nothing against Bama, but Tennessee has been playing pretty tough. I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
I think it'll be a close game, but since it's Alabama and I like the Alabama quarterback, I think Alabama wins by 7. Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Alabama in this game. I think Alabama's a top 4 or 5 team in the country.
I still question.
Matter of fact, yeah, 'cause Tennessee's only loss was to Georgia, and
And
that
they were
was in
ahead.
overtime.
And yeah, they were ahead most of that game. They actually should have beat Georgia. They should have beat Georgia, but I think Alabama's offense is playing really well right now, and their defense is starting to play better. So
Yeah.
I think the defense is still the biggest question mark on whether they can be a top 5 team. I'm not saying they can't be because I think they're very close. If that defense keeps improving, they could be a dangerous team with that quarterback.
I think Alabama might be the best team in the SEC.
They might be, but the SEC is just really tough. Yeah, it's just a tough conference.
I'm just saying, I think Alabama is better than Georgia.
I think possibly.
I do. I think Alabama is the best team in the SEC right now. I really do.
They lost.
Well,
that
they certainly took out UGA 24. Was it 24-21, something like that?
Yep.
Beat Vanderbilt too.
Chris, who do you like better, Texas A&M or Alabama?
I like Alabama a little better.
Yeah.
Myself, but Texas A&M is good as well.
I'm going to try to watch some of their game. I haven't watched them play. I'm going to try to watch some of their game this week because I want to see some of it. We got Frankie back. Frankie, what do you think about this Tennessee-Alabama game?
Say my name and I appear. Yeah, I believe in Frankie C. Hey, yo, listen, I already said last week, I believe, or in the beginning of this week, that Tennessee's a really good football team. They really are. And I heard what you said, Jay, before I hopped on here. They really are a good football team defensively. Their quarterback is a stout quarterback, no doubt. But Ty Simpson is the quarterback right now, in my opinion. He is balling out to where he's possibly, and I said this to Tony, he's possibly going to be a candidate for a Heisman Trophy. I don't think he's going to win it, but he most definitely could be a candidate for the Heisman Trophy at the end of this year. Our offense is stout. Our running back might not play because he did get an injury last year against Missouri, so our running back's probably going to be out. I believe it was a shoulder injury that he had. Our defense is actually, like Tony said, is stepping up really well because we lost a lot of key defending players through injury. I want to say at least 3 of our top defender players are out, but even then, so like those next man up mentality is really showing in Alabama, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from my boys defensively and offensively. I believe it's going to be a close game, but I'm obviously going to ride with the Roll Tide because that's my team. I think Alabama is going to win by 3, and I think it's going to be a low scoring game. So I'm expecting like a 24-21 type victory over for Alabama, especially if we're home too. We're home, so I like Alabama when they're in Tuscaloosa. I think we're going to win it. And it also comes down to our coach. Is our coach going to wear the black hoodie? Because I think he should wear the black hoodie. He always wins when he's wearing the black hoodie. So go ahead and wear that black hoodie, man.
I want to say this. The biggest thing I see for Tennessee, if I'm Tennessee, if I'm planning my game plan for offense, is I'm going to run the hell out of it as much as possible and try to control that clock. Because if you look at Tennessee's run game, they average 3, or their leading running back averages 3 more yards more than what Alabama's running it at. I think they're I can't remember that dude's name offhand, but I know he's averaging about 7.6 yards a carry, averaging, and I can't remember the Bama, but I know he's averaging 4.6. So if I'm Tennessee, I'm definitely and not that Tennessee they have a good grip. I think Ty Simpson has 1 interception, and I believe the Tennessee quarterback, I can't remember his name either, but I know he's got 5 interceptions. So he's got 4 more interceptions. So I think that's a difference maker between the 2 quarterbacks. But when you look at the disparity in terms of that run game, I think Tennessee owns them in the run game. I think Bama has a slight edge in the passing game. For me, I think it's really going to come down to clock management for Tennessee and how well can Tennessee's defense step up against Bama. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. But I'm still rolling with Tennessee. I'm going to roll with the underdog on this one.
Okay, guys,
I don't know who this person is, but he clearly knows football. That guy clearly knows football.
Yeah, I've heard he's a real douchebag. But anyway, continue, Mission.
Simpson is currently the second favorite for the Heisman.
Yeah, I told you. I
Right
wouldn't be
now,
surprised if he's a finalist.
Who's the first favorite, Chris?
first favorite is Carson Beck from Miami. Ty
Yeah.
Simpson from Alabama is second, and
Maldonado
Fernando
or Maldonado or Mendoza or
Mendoza from Indiana is the third favorite right now.
Jay, you couldn't be more racist. You said so many Mexican last names that you just like you was nowhere near it.
All right, guys.
I knew it had an M on it. That's all. Hey, an M. If it has Oza or Aza, usually.
All right, guys.
He's like Mendoza, Hernandez. You said I'm pretty sure you threw a beer name in there. You said Medola.
I think I said Maldonado or some shit.
Let's get this last game, guys.
I want to answer Joe's question real quick because I wasn't here for it. If Terry McLaurin was playing, I will go with Washington. But I've seen how Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he's not playing. So I've seen how Jaden Daniels look without Terry McLaurin. I'm honestly going to roll with the Cowboys on this one for this week, especially after losing to Carolina. I think Dak Prescott's going to come out with some fire. CeeDee Lamb is back with how George Pickens played last week. If you can have George Pickens continuing that route and playing next to CeeDee Lamb, who's already a top star wide receiver for the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are going to come out and beat Washington. Not by a lot.
I hope they do. I really do. I hope they do.
Be a close
honestly.
game. I would normally, Jay knows this, I would normally pick Washington, but because Terry McLaurin isn't playing and I've seen how Washington and Jaden Daniels looked without him, I have no confidence in Washington beating the Cowboys.
Okay. Guys, let's do this Ole Miss Georgia game. Ole Miss at Georgia. Frankie, this is your conference. What do you think about this?
I think Ole Miss is going to beat the crap out of Georgia. Straight up. Listen, and it's not no hate on Georgia. I hate Georgia. I really do. They're my biggest competition. My biggest rivalry is Georgia. But I like how Ole Miss is playing, and I like how Matt Patricia has turned his defense around as the new defensive coordinator for Ohio State. I really like Ohio State in this matchup against Georgia. They're number one for a reason, and I think they're going to continue that route. And they're defending champions.
No, it's Mississippi.
Ole Miss.
I'm sorry?
They're playing Mississippi, not Ohio State.
Oh, he said Ohio State versus Alabama or versus Georgia.
Ole Miss is what he said, but yeah.
Oh, he did say Ole Miss. My bad. I had a joke. I had a Jay Biden moment. My bad. My bad. That's on me. I take responsibility for that. I apologize. I had a full Jay Biden moment. All right, I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. Miss. I like how Ole Miss quarterback has been playing this year. I think he's really stout. I like Georgia too, somewhat, I guess, but they're my bigger rival. I hate them sometimes. I don't know what I'm saying, but Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss. Damn it, I got confused. I thought he said Ohio State. I got all excited from it. I was like, Ohio State's gonna annihilate Georgia.
Oh shit. Okay, Chris, your thoughts.
I like Ole Miss in this game as well. I think this. I like the way their quarterback's been playing. Lane Kiffin's has that team playing at a high level right now. Georgia's a good team too, so it's going to be a real good game. But I think Ole Miss is going to find a way to get it done.
It's a toss-up to me, and my question is Ole Miss's defense. Do they hold up against Georgia? But I do like Ole Miss's offense. So even though it's at Georgia, I'm going to take Ole Miss too. Jay?
Yeah, this is a big game for Ole Miss in terms of their confidence. Not so much. I mean, yeah, the record, obviously, and other things, but this is a big confidence boosting type of game for Ole Miss, right? I mean, Ole Miss has kind of always been, the stepchild in the SEC, down there in the Mississippi States, in the Tennessees, and the Arkansas, or whatever. They've kind of been down in that echelon where nobody really takes them seriously. They're a good team, but not really ever elite or any of that top 10 level, whatever, right? And this is their opportune moment. I think Ole Miss is sitting they're sitting at number 3 right now. And they're going against number 9 Georgia.
Whoa, they're not number 3.
Number 4.
Oh, the number 4, 3 or 4. Okay, I apologize. I was off. Chris, oh my God, man. Do you need a tampon? My bad, bro. I apologize. I see the look on your face like you like the spider monkey.
They
Like, he like a
number
little
3.
spider monkey, man. Like I just needed your
Because you're-
Hey,
because you're
they're
so
behind us.
lucky.
Hey, look, they're behind us just like Texas is.
I'm sorry.
You're
See, because
clear-
the I there is University of Irrelevance. This is probably the first time you've been relevant, so I don't typically normally know that you guys are there. So you have to understand that I don't normally have you guys there, so it's very weird to associate you with the top 4. So I apologize if I misstepped there a little bit. I understand why you're a little sensitive
Hey,
because
you
this is your first time there, and you don't want to be disrespected. So I get
perfect
it.
because you're being a perfect example of why fans are overlooking Indiana people or Indiana sports teams.
Probably so, Frankie. Probably so. But no. This is a big game because I think Ole Miss is in the top 4, but I think a lot of people are like, are they legitimately a top 4 or are they just in there for right now? So I think this is a big respect game. If I'm Ole Miss, this is a big respect game for me right now because I want people to know that I have this spot, number 4, legitimately. I have this number 4 spot legitimately because and they got to beat Georgia. If you don't beat Georgia, nobody's going to take them seriously. So if you want to take Ole Miss seriously, you got to beat Georgia. You have to beat them to justify to everybody in the world why you're in the number 4 spot. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big win for them. And I think everybody knows it. And Lane Kiffin knows it. Even Lane Kiffin said, look, this is an elite program. And if we want to be elite, we got to beat elite. So this is a big game. And I'm going to roll with Ole Miss. Right now, statistically speaking, if you go statistics and stuff, you're going to see that Ole Miss actually is playing better than Georgia in just about every statistical category. You can look at rushing, you can look at sacks, you can look at passing, and you're going to see that Ole Miss is the team that statistically is better. But you have to beat the best, Yeah. So this is a big game for Ole Miss, but I'm gonna roll with Ole Miss on that.
And it's a must win for Georgia because I think if they lose this game, their chances of the playoffs don't look good.
Yeah. Well, okay. Georgia has 1 loss or 2 loss. They have 1 loss, right?
They have 1, but with that conference, and you get your second.
I'm asking that because Texas is in that same conference, and I don't know if it's 100. Even if they lost to Ole Miss, I don't think it would be out. They would be all the way out because I think they would still have a shot at the SEC title, would they?
No,
I don't know because I don't know which division they're in.
No, that's true. No, I think he's saying what side of the SEC are they on? Because in there like an East and a West. I forget. I think
I'll tell you this. If Alabama beats Tennessee and Ole Miss beats Georgia, then yes. If realistically Georgia can still have a shot because Alabama would be the only team I believe in the SEC with 1 loss. Compared to you guys being 2 losses, Georgia will have 2 losses if they lose. Tennessee will have 2 losses if they lose. So I feel like you guys will be still in the hunt for the SEC title, but I will just be grateful if all of you lose.
I know that. I find Bime, whatever his name is, the dude that's big homer for SEC. He thinks that an SEC team can get in this year with 3 losses. Now, of course, he's a big homer. He's a big homer for them. So I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying he feels like that it's a good possibility this year. Is what he said.
So what you're basically saying, Tony, is he's a Texas fan because we know that Texas is going to have 3 losses this year. So that's what he's trying to say.
Well, I think
we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. You're speculating. It's okay to speculate.
They're probably going to have more than 3 losses.
That's what.
Oh, Lord.
I'm gonna bring it back in. But I just want to say this real quick without being interrupted. He is such a masshole. By the way, I just learned what a masshole is. Masshole is a person from Massachusetts. I didn't realize that. So they call him masshole. Chris, you're a masshole. Masshole. It's okay. I mean, sounds kind of cool to be called a masshole, actually. But anyway, but no, seriously though, I think. Look, I definitely know that if Alabama loses and Georgia loses, okay, I'm trading Jay for.
I got a no trades clause policy. I'm not going from New England to Dallas. Sorry.
No, seriously. No, seriously. Okay, back on track. if Bama loses and Georgia loses, right? That puts them both at 2 losses, which I think that would be the only way that really, in my mind, that realistically Texas could slide up to
Well,
a possible SEC title, right?
Well, the only thing is you still have Texas A&M, who's undefeated right now, and you would have Mississippi if Mississippi wins, still undefeated. So you can have 2 undefeated teams as of right now, and there's still another 5 or 6 games to play. I think, or at least 4. I don't know how many college games are left, but I mean it'd be tough. It'd be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like because Texas right now is at 21. I think we still got to play Georgia, which is going to be a huge game for us, and then we still got to play A&M, which is a huge game. So that's what I was saying. I think if Bama and Georgia was to find a way, both those teams find a way to lose, and then get 2 losses, and then of course we're going to have to win outright. Right? We can't take any more losses, right?
Yeah.
So it would be very difficult, I think, for Texas to get in there. But there still is a pathway. But there's a lot of things that got to go right.
If you beat Georgia and Texas, and if you beat Texas and Texas A&M, I think you got a shot.
Yeah.
And don't lose any more games. You'd have a good shot. A lot of it depends on
A shot at what? A shot at getting in the playoff or a shot at winning the
playoffs.
No, just get into the playoff in general.
You're not
But
even
I think
gonna
you
get
have to be in
you're
the
just
SEC
gonna be-
game, though, right?
You're just gonna have enough losses and enough wins to get you into a certain bowl. Watch, you're gonna be in the Citrus Bowl. That's it.
Well, that's my point. So, like, if we don't get to if we're not in the SEC title game, then I think we're out of it. I don't think that Texas has any way of getting in, right?
Well, it depends. If there's a possibility that you could win out and still not make the conference game. But if you're number 10 ranked, you still.
Well, that's true.
Tony's
You don't
still
have
so freaking.
you don't have to play in the conference championship to be in the playoffs.
No. So that's
But
what I'm
that still
saying.
would be a help for them, though.
Oh yeah. Well,
I guess in terms of the voting, right? When you're voting to see who's going to be in that top 10 to 12, wouldn't you need to win or at least be in the conference game in terms of voting to be in that top 12 spots or whatever it is?
There's no guarantee if you're in the conference game and you lose the conference game and you get your 3rd loss or 4th loss or whatever, that you still might not make it if you lose in the conference game.
Plus, you don't have to be in the conference game because of having the different divisions within a conference. Sometimes the best 2 teams out of that conference aren't playing in the conference championship game.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know who's going outside the conference.
Like, for example, there's some like this year, IU and Ohio State we don't play each other in the regular season. Only way we could play each other would be in the conference championship game.
Right. No, I understand where you're coming from. I just think for Texas to get into the playoffs, it's going to be a long, hard road.
See,
And
that's
a
how
lot of things outside of them are going to have to go right. Like Texas is going to have to win out. I really believe they have to win out. And then certain teams like Bama's and Georgia's are going to have to take other losses, I think, for them to get in there.
That's why
It'd be very difficult.
Because that's how Iowa used to always be in the Big Ten championship game in football. They were in the other division, and Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan. The top teams were on the same side. So Iowa would always end up in the Big Ten championship game, and they weren't near as good as a couple of the teams that were on the other that were in the other division, but they were getting there because of the way the schedule was.
You know what's interesting to wrap. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Frankie. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say that we're losing viewerships for talking about Texas. So can we wrap this up and hurry up?
Yeah.
Hey, real quick though. I'll away from Texas. Dang, I'm gonna have. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Wait, Frankie, I'm gonna lose my thought. It's gonna be. No. Hey, going back to NIL and going back to the NIL and the transfer portal now. Would you agree? I feel like this is the first year that we're really seeing the effect of NIL and transfer portal because of the fact that when you look at the top 4 teams or even the top 10 to 12 teams from what we started and where we are now, it's not. I mean, SEC is taking a big hit.
You
And Big Ten is taking a big.
Hold on.
and Big Ten
You
have come
sound
up a
sad.
lot.
This isn't the first year.
No.
It's been trending this way for the last 3-4 seasons. Big Ten's been starting to get a lot stronger
Right.
than
Well, I still
Well,
think FCC is pretty damn strong. I mean, you look at the rankings now; they're still strong.
Oh, I'm not
But
saying they're weak, but I'm saying you can
yeah,
see where it used to be like they were the sole dominant force, and Big Tens and everything were kind of looked a little bit left or right. But now it seems
yeah.
like the Big Ten and
Well,
stuff is really getting a
well,
lot more respect put on them.
well, perfect example. IU, if it wouldn't have been for the NIL and people being able to move around, IU wouldn't be where they're at right now. I mean, look how quick last year they
Right.
made it to the playoffs. They wouldn't have been able to do it that fast if not for that.
Yeah, I think
I
with
feel like
IU,
Jay.
I think you got a good coach. Yeah.
I feel like Jay's just salty because he lost a lot of players from Texas to this NIL deal and just the transfer protocol. I feel like he's just upset because most of his Texas players either went to the draft or went to different college teams because they no longer wanted to be a Texas player. And now he's just bringing it up, acting like this was the first year that this has been going on. Listen, Alabama lost a lot of players due to this transfer protocol and this NIL shit.
Yeah.
You don't hear me bring it up. You sound a little salty right now, Jay. Are you salty because you?
No, I'm not. I'm
still
not
have people?
salty. I'm not salty. I'm just making an observation.
Alabama lost maybe the best player in the nation a couple of years ago to the NIL, that Downs to Ohio State, Caleb Downs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't hear me bringing it
I
up.
mean, it's just, okay. Well, I think Tony, I think you already and Gonzo, I think y'all both hit on it. But I mean, obviously the biggest thing for you guys is you got a great coach, right? That's paramount, having a good coach, right? But then outside of having a good coach, wouldn't you say that the NIL and the transfer portal has helped you guys in that program as well get to where you are now?
Oh yeah.
Versus if you had not had, if the NIL or the transfer portal didn't exist, do you think you would be where you are now without those two entities?
No, not that fast. No
You know
way.
what I'm saying?
Because he brought all his good players from, I think was it James Madison, Chris? Is that right? From James Madison, he brought like 15, 20, 22 players with him. And because that way he had a good nucleus that knew his system. And again, that's why they also got knocked off the ball when he got into the.
Not only that, the other big thing with him that I don't think people realize is pretty much his whole coaching staff has been with him for the last 13 years.
Yep.
He's had the same. He's had the same coaching staff
there
since he was at IUP. Then he went to James Madison, and then he came to IU, and he basically has the exact same coaching staff as all them guys have been with him for 12, 13 years. So they all know what to expect. They know the system. They know what the standard is. You have all that continuity. I think that's one of the big reasons with that. And then he's hit on the quarterback twice out of the transfer portal, and then adding other players. But I think that's a big thing, is having that continuity, the same coaching staff, and then bringing over some of his players from JMU that helped instill the culture, because they knew what the standard was, and they were able to teach that to the newer players even quicker than if you had a whole team.
It kind of reminds me of Deion Sanders when he was with Jackson, and he left and go to Colorado. He took like a lot of players with him. He took both his sons with him. He took a couple coaches with him, and then Colorado kind of had like a decent year or decent 2 years. It's kind of like that route as well for me. But the one person that isn't liking this, and the one team that isn't liking this transfer protocol and the NIL stuff, is UNC and Bill Belichick. I feel like Bill Belichick and UNC are absolutely hating this deal, and it's really mind shocking because when Bill Belichick got the job at UNC, he actually ended up got a lot of players from that transfer protocol that was actually good players. I don't know if it's the coaching that is bad for UNC, or if just the players that don't like to play for Bill Belichick because he's treating them like NFL players. I don't know what's going on, but I think Bill Belichick's the one that's not liking this.
I think it's going to take a couple of years. He brought in 70 new players, so he basically brought in a whole new team in 1 year. I think it's going to take him a couple of years. I think he's going to get turned around though. I haven't.
Let me ask you this though: how much is Bill Belichick's girlfriend issues and the drama? No, seriously, the drama that has come around it. All the attention and all this, that, and the other. I mean, do you think that that's been a distraction for him?
No,
I don't.
No.
I think, I watched that first game and they talked that night about the 70 players, and they said he didn't have nobody higher than a 3-star recruit, no 4-star, no 5-star, had nobody on that team that was going to be drafted into the NFL next year. So he don't have a lot of talent. So it's going to take him And like Chris said, also, I think when he got on the team,
got a late
took on the
start.
team, he got a late start, so he had problems getting the top recruits. The problem is the season's been so bad, it may be hard getting top recruits again next year. I don't know. It's just if people believe in.
Well, hell, I mean, but now it's not even so much going into the living rooms as it is going into them and offering the money. Yeah, it's the money. I mean, because now it's not even just college. Now it's down into the high school. So now they're getting these kids in high school and paying them in high school the money, and then they're giving them the transfer portal. They're giving them the money. So I mean, it's just to me, it just seems to me it's more of a financial thing. Like, how can you sell your school in terms of money and things like that than it is going into the actual living room, which I think is what killed Nick Saban was the NIL and not having that in your living room and getting all the best recruits with his personality and charisma.
Well, just
That's why he retired.
Yeah, I agree. But Saban was talking about today. He said that Mendoza got paid, that's right. Mendoza was with the IU. He got paid $2 million. Okay, and but like Saban said, he said now there's a bunch of coaches out there which the programs wish they'd offered them $4 million.
Yeah, you're right.
Here's why, and a lot of people don't know this, is that Georgia tried to get Mendoza. There was a lot of SEC teams that was trying to get Mendoza, and he chose to go to IU and over them. He played for Cal last year.
Yeah.
And his younger brother is our backup quarterback.
Which I think is crazy.
That's interesting. I mean, good for your program. I mean, obviously IU is trending in the right direction, no doubt, man. I mean, again, a lot of that. I think the biggest thing is just getting the right coach in place, right? I'm, the more I watch Sarkisian, the more I see Sarkisian, the more I really don't believe he's the right guy. I mean, he comes from a great pedigree in Nick Saban, but I just don't think he's the right guy.
You know what pedigree Cignetti comes from?
Probably Saban.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I have no doubt about it. I mean, you know what though? But not every coordinator that comes out of your program is going to be the best head coach. I'm just saying.
No,
I believe it though. What do you think about Sarkisian, Gonzo and Frankie? I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on what y'all think of Sarkisian.
I think he's a good coach. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch enough to know how good he is, but I think he's a pretty good coach from what I've seen. I mean, he had him there last year with a good chance of winning. This year, I don't think they had the talent this year the same type of talent this year as they did last year, and they were overhyped at the beginning of the season, and I think that's kind of hurt his perception.
The media, they overhyped Texas, they overhyped Clemson, and there was one other team. Penn State. I mean, look. There's 3 or 4 teams.
Wow, everybody was on Penn State as being the number one. This, that, the other. They don't.
But the thing of it is, I think if they win that game against Oregon and don't lose that in overtime, all this don't happen. I think he lost his team. I think that loss, he lost his team.
Yeah.
If you look at it, almost all your top coaches in college football right now came from the Saban tree.
And did you, Chris?
Kirby Smart there in Georgia. He was a Saban guy.
Yep.
Lanning in Oregon. Saban. Cignetti. Saban. Sarkisian at Texas. Saban. Kiffin, Ole Miss. Saban.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think when you look at a guy like Saban, I look at a guy like Popovich. When you're a great coach like that, and obviously it matriculates down to the people below him, right? All the coordinators, they're all learning from Nick, just like they're all learning from Popovich. And if you look at Popovich, I mean, everybody that comes out of that coach tree, for the most part, has gone on to have great NBA careers. Even what's her name that went to the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces. Even she's having a great career out there. So I mean, if you're a great coach or you're the best at what you do, everybody underneath you is going to be good. And I think you guys are the beneficiaries of that great coaching, that lineage.
And Chris, did you see that the coach from Penn State, James Franklin, is going to be on ESPN on that 9:00 show tomorrow? He's going to do an interview. He's going to be doing an interview and everything.
Yeah, he's going to be on College Game Day.
Yeah. So that should be good. Yeah, they announced it today that he's going to be on there. They're going to do an interview with him and everything. So that should be interesting.
Do y'all think Deion? I've heard rumors that Penn State is looking at Deion. Have y'all heard anything like that? Do y'all believe that could be a possibility that maybe he jumps ship and goes to Penn?
I think it'd be a mistake for Penn State. That's
I do
my
too, for sure.
I don't think he fits that program. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it. I mean, if Penn State offered him the job, I'm sure he would. They probably could get him to leave there because you're gonna be able to get a lot better players and it got a lot more money to back you. But I think it'd be a mistake for Penn State.
A perfect guy for Penn State. I know they want IU's coach, and he said no. I think the perfect guy is that Matt Rule. Matt Rule's from Penn State. He says he won't leave. I think money talks. I think he's going to get a lot better players than he's ever going to get at Nebraska. That's just my opinion. But I think Rule's the perfect guy. Now, whether they can get him or not, I don't know.
Yeah,
I know his best. They say his best friend is the athletic director at Penn State.
Okay, he's gone.
Him and that athletic director at Penn State were together at Temple when Rule rebuilt Temple and had Temple doing real good before he left Temple and went to, I think, Baylor, and he left Baylor and went to Carolina. But yeah, I guess they're real good friends is what everybody's saying. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up taking that job. But he said he wasn't going to talk about it during the season and said he liked where he was at. But I mean, like I said, the media, they put these coaches in a lose-lose situation because they ask them these questions. Oh, are you going to take the Penn State job? Well, if I tell you I'm going to take it, then I'm turning my back. Then you're going to spin it and say I'm turning my back on my team. I don't care nothing about my players. But then if I tell you if I tell you I'm not going to take it, and then I end up taking it, then you're going to say, oh, you're nothing but a liar. You lied to us. Well, so like
that's why they always give that blanket answer though, John. So what's the blanket answer? What's the blanket answer for that though? No, what's the blanket answer? Every time I know what you're talking about. I agree with you. And I guarantee you the blanket answer is always right now I am focused on this team and this is where I'm at. And you leave it at every time. I mean, all the great ones. Have you ever noticed that? Every time you get put on the hot seat, they always say that.
No, that's what Matt Rule said. That's basically what Matt Rule said. But
yeah,
but what
that's all you can say. Because like you said, if you say left or right, you're screwed.
They put you in a situation where you're screwed. And
that's why. That's why.
If you answer it like that, you're still screwed because then they try to read into it. Oh well, if he wasn't going to go, he would have said no for sure. Or I mean, then they try to read into your answer and keep the story going.
Yeah. That's what they call trap questions. I'd be like, you know what? That's a straight trap question. I am focused on the team at hand, and we're going to leave it at that. That's a trap question.
I'm personally glad IU went ahead and got Cignetti. Because see, it was kind of crazy because IU gave a lot of people don't realize this. They gave him signed a contract. Then after the end of last year, they signed him to a new extension at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And now halfway to this season, they're signing him to another new extension.
8 years.
So like
crazy. That's nuts.
All right.
All right, I just got something to say. There will not be an evening show tonight. So we will pick up the evening show on Monday. That's all I gotta say. Other than please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It don't mean nothing for you. Turn off the notifications. Give us a quick click. That's all I'm asking for. It helps us out over here a lot, and it means a lot. So we would appreciate it if you guys can give a like and subscribe. Just a subscribe, really, nothing more to Gonzo Sports Room and Elite Sports Entertainment Network. We would certainly appreciate it. Gonzo, that's all I got.
Have a great week.